Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. It is a Thursday night forum. Everybody wave to Tony up there, Tony's avatar. He was with us a second ago, but he turned off his camera. Alonso, how are you doing?
Good.
All right. Be excited, Alonso. You got to be excited for this one, right?
Yeah, because usually on Friday mornings, Friday afternoons, I can't sleep because I'm so excited about the season starting. I really like the anticipation of our squad. Really, it's kind of interesting to see how we turn up as a team. And
can you hear me?
Hey, put Gary back.
You're late, Gary. We can hear you. Yes.
Move Gary over.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, the anticipation is, I think, what every fan looks forward to, whether it be a Friday night game or Saturday morning game, and even Sunday, Monday. So yeah, lots to look forward to. I think after all what happened last year and how it ended, I'm hoping that the squad starts up hungry.
Yeah, listen, I'm really excited for the start of the season. Many will still tell you Manchester City are favorites, and I'm okay with that for the league. We have a team now with many options that if we have an injury, as in Gabriel Jesus, we have options. If we have injuries in almost all parts of the field, we have options. And I know I talked about in one of the previous podcasts, the only area that I was worried about was the goalkeeping situation. And now we have possibly David Raya coming in on loan as well. And we're able to keep some gunpowder. I see you taking a breath there, Alonso, so I'll bring you back in.
Yeah, I think that, a loan deal is really a safe choice. Because I think Arteta kind of values Raya as a maybe potential backup for Raya, but Ramsdale is our number one. But I think it's good to have Ramsdale as Raya as far as competition goes. I think he's very good with Brentford. I think he held him into close games. But it's part of competition, right? Competition every position. I think now we're finally seeing that transpire as a supporter. We always talked about depth being the issue, but now I think we have that finally, and we have quality depth as well.
Yeah, 100% depth has always been that issue. We've had that first 11, and there's a debate about whether we should call it a first 11 or now we have a squad that we can rotate through for the 4 competitions we're going to be involved in. Tony, I'll go down to you. How are you doing, Tony? Are you excited for the season? Are you excited for this roller coaster season that's going to happen, Tony?
I don't want roller coasters.
You want that straight line. Maybe we'll blip up in the first spot and we'll keep going that way. You know what I mean?
Hopefully.
All right.
Still worried about strikers. Don't have faith that he'll play Trossard in that spot.
Right. Yeah.
Look at you, Hefner.
Tony, yeah.
Good one.
We'll bring Stan in.
Very sharp this week, Tony, isn't you? Very sharp.
Tony knows who Hugh Hefner is.
What? I know. Stan, what's going on?
I'm just up at the Playboy Mansion. I'm just around the back.
It looks like it.
For the show.
All right.
Are you wearing slippers, Stan?
I'm not staying for the whole show because the girls are waiting. So.
Are you wearing slippers, Stan?
No, I'm barefoot. I've got fungus toe.
All right. Tony, did you want to say anything else about this coming season before we get downstairs here?
I think it's good getting your backup keeper. I like Turner, but he went bye-bye, so now we're getting Raya most likely.
Yeah.
Is it with an option to buy or obligation to buy?
Anytime you have a Ray in the name and a Turner in the name, the Ray's going to come out on top and be the better one of the two. That's all I've got to say. Tony,
you sure about that, Ray?
I'll go with it. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Stan, since Gary had some technical problems, so Stan, I'll get you next. What are your thoughts on the upcoming season? Are you excited about the season?
Oh, very much so. I mean, after last season for me is probably the best season I can't remember since the last time we won the league, to be fair. Don't get me wrong, we've had some nice little journeys along the way, haven't we? With winning some cups and that. But for the actual season in the Premier League, I mean, it's been a long time overcoming. And you have to be fairly confident that we can give Man City, a run for their money and hopefully get a bit closer, if not surpass them this season with the business that we've been doing.
Yeah.
So, I'm very excited. I can't wait for it to start.
Yeah.
And getting up at 4:30 though.
On Saturday morning. Yeah, that's a tough one. You know what I mean? Gary, how are you feeling for the upcoming season?
I'm ready.
You ready to go?
You want to see how this thing's going to work out? Yeah. They did a lot of work.
We just have to.
Gary was ready 5 minutes after the last one ended.
Yeah, in fairness, I think all of us were.
Yeah, I didn't like the way it ended, so definitely wanted to let's do this again. So
now we have to invest 8 months of our lives, 8 or 9 months of our lives, into this season and see where it gets us at the end in April and May.
I saw a tweet from a lady that I follow, Victoria, and it's like it was like one of those quoted tweets, and it's like, what do you do that's unhealthy for you, basically? And her response was, I watched 11 people in red run around and calls me pain. She didn't say it in those words, but that's what we do. We watch 11 people on the field do something that's really unhealthy, that causes pain for us, essentially. It's just not a healthy thing to do. Yeah. So,
but we're here for it. We're here for it each and every week. And when Stan is tucked up in his bed sleeping, we'll be going through the rigors. I hear in the East Coast 7:30. Tony 6:30-ish, Alonso the same, and we'll be wanting Arsenal to get 3 points against Nottingham Forest. There's a lot of things.
I hate those kickoffs. 6:30 kickoffs. I just hate those games.
Yeah,
that's a luxury for me.
I'm actually doing a watch along.
Yeah, because you're still up.
Yeah,
7:30 is not too bad, Gary. So we're not going to.
Yeah, I'll actually be doing a watch along for Ryan. So I'll be on Mr. Arsenal podcast doing the watch along there. I'm hosting that. So
quick plug.
What a surprise!
Yeah, exactly. Good for you, Alonso. I'll get to you then. Next round of questions here, and the transfer window. It has it's starting to warm up and heat up for the other teams. I always think about this window as the best team, the better well-run club gets their business done early, and we've been in that situation. Now we're looking at Liverpool, Chelsea, and other teams fighting for the scraps. They're pretty big scraps, but they're fighting for them.
Yeah, and it's important that we got our business done early. I think we kind of have our targets in the May, at the end of the season, so we're able to get those done. And it seems like we learned from our past where we always did our business so late that we didn't know who was coming in, and it kind of hurt the way we played. But yeah, I think it was well done by Adu and Arteta, kind of trying to see who their targets were. We didn't know them. But yeah, I mean, last night I was watching ESPN FC, and I remember Alejandro Moreno talking about how Liverpool are going to go ahead of Arsenal in the league. But is he dumb because has he ignored our signings? Because we made some pretty quality signings. Just a different Rice. He turned a high price, but at the end of the day, I think he'll help us out. And Timber as well. I think he's a very young defender that we needed. I think Arteta kind of valued his talent and realized that he could be even better. So, and Havertz, I think he's going to be all right. I think that I think the pundits are kind of still negative about the signing, but I think there's a future for him at Arsenal. All things considered, I think it's very important to get the signings in early, and you've seen clubs making a move for players late in the season, that's on them. They should have nailed it before it even got crazy. So, yeah, well done for Arsenal.
Yeah. I've seen the Liverpool contingent get quite irritated about things. Tony, we've done really well in the transfer window. We got 3 players in. What are you waving your arms about, Gary?
Did you see? Look, Liverpool, Casado,
Yeah, I know.
more than Rice.
They're spending a lot of money, and Brighton. Listen, I think that's an indictment on the teams that are willing to pay that amount of money. It's happened to with United, Anthony, and all of these teams, all of these players, boosting up the price.
What happened to the Arsenal away, right?
I don't know, Tony, but we have talked about this before. You know, we're moving in a better way now. We have moved some players on that were
Come
on
on,
high
we just
wages.
walked into the room with our dick swinging. That's what we did, right?
It's
That's
a
how we opened the transfer window.
history lesson. You should be a history teacher, Tony. Go back.
Come on, please do not punish the little kids like that.
I could
Ray.
go back to all kinds of stuff.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's not. You know what, Ray? Take that back.
I'll take it back. I'm going to move
Thank
on.
you.
I'll move
Thank
on.
you. Don't hurt the little kids, please. Don't punish the kids.
Stan,
Hello.
yeah, we've done some good business this window, and now we're looking at Caicedo, Lavia, maybe Harry Kane, and the other teams that are trying to scramble for those players now.
For me, if somebody goes and buys Caicedo or Kane and their fee ends up being more than Declan Rice, for me, I say good. That means that when the season starts and the papers are looking for criticism under the microscope, it will no longer be, Premier League record signing Declan Rice misplaced a pass or whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
Now it'd be somebody else. So if I really hope that happens, but on the other side of the coin, I mean, where are these prices going to end? I mean, let's look at it for real. Caicedo, I mean, he hasn't won anything. He's young. Yes, he looks like a good player, but I mean, $140 million.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going bonkers. I just think to myself, where are we going to be in like 3 years' time? Some of the players who we've just given big contracts to, what are those contracts going to have to be worth when it's time to sit down to renew?
Yeah.
I mean, how is the extra revenue going to be coming in? The prices are going up, the salaries are going up. Are they just going to continue to put all the tickets up? I mean, I don't know how they're going to, I don't know how they're going to offset it, especially if it's supposed to be self-sustaining like we are.
Yeah.
I would have never predicted this after COVID either.
No, exactly.
As
prices are double.
As Tony has said, Tony, you've said before the Champions League next year is going to be expanded as well. So there's going to be more games in the Champions League next year. There will be probably more prize money. And as Stan said, where is it going to stop? Where is it going to end? BX Gunner said here, Liverpool submit 110 million for Caicedo. Kane to Bayern is on. We're going to talk about Kane. What is his motivation? Where is Harry Kane's motivation? Good evening, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Air control, Alonso in the building. Good evening, Spencer. $140 million US.
What's that in pounds? What's that?
I don't understand. Why can't we just use one currency?
Yeah.
Please stop with this. I saw it in one tweet. It was 100. It was 110 euros versus 100 pounds, and they were comparing two players. And I'm like, let's get the same currency on the same when we're comparing. $110,000. $110.
It should all be
what?
It should be all be British pounds. It should.
Does anyone know what the rumored transfer fee for Caicedo is in Russian francs? Just by any chance?
No, I knew it a second ago, and then it just gone. Sorry.
Our time is now, exactly, boys.
What is $140 million? Is that about 110 million?
110 pounds. 110
million pounds. Wow, man.
So it is going to exceed Declan Rice and what we will.
It almost seems like clubs are not doing it based on the fee. It's almost like a one-upmanship. Well, if you paid that for that, then you got to pay this for this. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Now the situation as well. Gary, go ahead.
No. Yes.
British transfer record broken twice in the same window, and Chelsea will have the opportunity to go after that price tomorrow.
All this means to me, there is no way we're selling Balogun for under 50. That would be
Yes.
ludicrous. That would be really silly. That would be really dumb. That's throwing money out the window just because you're stubborn and you don't want to play a player. Forget that. If they're that much of a commodity, they can be overpriced by 20, 30, 40 million. There's no reason why you can take a 20. Everybody keeps talking about this 20 goal mark for a striker. We got one.
Mhm.
So why are we selling them for half the price? It makes absolutely no sense.
It's basically to recoup the money.
No. It's throwing money out the window.
Bad idea.
20 goal strikers don't exist. They don't when they don't
Hey.
come around.
We're
Surely
not
if you
in
look at-
control of that.
Surely, if you look
No,
at
but-
the stats and you made the stats for Casado for his position comparable to say the stats of Balogun for a player of his position, surely it's got to be, you know what I mean, big goals being the biggest commodity. Surely
Yeah.
his value must be worth about 70, 80 million.
Mhm. And here's a question, Stan. Then, would you prefer to get 50 million for Balogun going to West Ham, or 40 million going to Inter Milan for that 10 million difference?
No, I take the money. It's not like them buying Balogun is going to all of a sudden West Ham's going to be like, you know, a big problem for us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to take
Saliba,
If Balkan can't
Gabriel.
help us, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If they really feel he can't help us, it doesn't matter where he goes.
take the money.
if
Across
it's
the pond.
West Ham, go for 60.
Yeah,
know they've got it.
Yeah, and it's and I want it all.
You know
up
what
front.
goes around comes around, Stan.
All
Love
up
that.
front in pennies, please.
All's fair in love and war, and
about-
Mr. Sullivan.
How about we just give them Balogun and 45 million, and we just call that that's a line in the sand, and that's the value, right? They go Balogun and 45 million. That's the rice deal done.
Yeah.
How about we just keep Balogun?
Across the pond, hit the likes, and yeah, I cannot stay. I got to do the Holland Espana game. Kane wants a trophy. It's finally been done. What is happening with Kane? You know,
he's on his way to Germany to do his medical.
Yeah, many
Is
will
it
only
actually
believe
happening
that.
then? The medical's happening then.
All the big people, all the people that you know are saying that he's gone.
Last thing I heard on the
He
way
accepted.
home,
He
saying that
accepted.
the clubs accepted. I heard the last thing was, but they kept saying that Harry Kane hasn't completely said yes yet, and might be staying. That was the thing all day. I say it must be in the last hour then, because I fell asleep.
Yeah, and a lot. Yeah, exactly.
That's one where generally I will believe something's happening, and I don't even have to see the player holding his shirt. I think with Harry Kane, I need to see him holding the Bayern Munich shirt.
I can't wait to hear him trying to speak German, man. I'm tuning in for that. I'm tuning in.
It probably
for
comes
some of that,
naturally, man. Stan. It probably comes very naturally. He's probably fluent.
Sure about that? He can't.
Does he want a trophy? Or I've heard some people say he's 47 goals away from Alan Shearer's record. You know,
as somebody said, that record is meant to be broken, but nobody's taking your name off the trophy.
Correct.
Exactly.
Harlan stays for
Harlan
stays. Somebody said, I heard it today. Harlan stays for 10 years. I doubt it, but it says he stays.
He was 500.
The record's broken, so then what was the point of staying around?
Yeah.
And you don't have a trophy. So go get a trophy. If you come back and Harlan's already gone and you could do 2 years left, so be it. But nah.
Okay.
It's weird seeing Bayern breaking.
We're definitely going to cross. Go ahead, Tony.
So it's funny seeing Bayern break their way they do business for the last few summers.
100 million. Well, they have Tuchel there now, and they're obviously backing him. Alonso, what do you think? We're going to face Bayern at some point in the Champions League?
Oh, definitely.
Tommy Tickle.
Are you there, Alonso?
Yeah, but Tony's going to answer for me, so what's the point?
Oh, you can put your 2 cents in as well. Come on. Fight for your place.
So, I mean,
fight for your place.
It's about, being secure with the team you have. I think that we finally have a team now, like I said before, that we have depth where we could, start these youngsters like a massive role more often because we're going to play in the Champions League. And use our depth more so than we did last year because last year we kind of bowed out real big too fast. And so we could use that experience of leaving early than expected in the Europa League, and hopefully he's got to be smart this year. He's got to rotate more. He's got the players now to do so. And if a player gets injured, you can put them in right away. So he's still got to learn how to do that. But I think we'd be okay in Champions League. I think people would say, "Well, we're going to finish third or fourth because we're going to be tired from Champions League," and they may be the case. But I think Arteta is going to learn from last year that he got to rely more on his bench and his fringe players to make this work.
Yeah. Tony,
We said this last year, and it didn't happen. So why do we expect?
So Tony,
You know why it's different. He has to trust everybody he's got now because he has no choice. For me, I don't think that. I think that right. Like, there's no reason why he can't look at his bench today and go, I have another 5 players on my bench, 6 players on my bench that I am comfortable with, and I can put in any situation. Otherwise, I'll never get it done.
We saw that in the Community Shield, though. He used his bench pretty well. He used his resources pretty well in the Community Shield against Manchester City.
Yeah. So
I think Mikel Arteta's biggest challenge this season will be to assess the team that we're going up against and pick the correct team to reflect we can get past this team with this lineup. Yeah. And Tony, I think the group stages are like the league. You accrue your points in the Champions League and you get to the knockout stages. When you get to the knockout stages, it is a cup competition, and you have to put your best foot forward at that point, Tony.
Yeah, but starting off, you don't have to, and Arteta will.
That's a bit off, isn't it? Telling Tony to put his best foot forward, Ray.
Wow, Ray. All right, you know what? You're off the show for 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, Tony.
That's rude.
I really did not mean that. Okay?
No, you said it.
Yeah.
So
I know. And Tony's a good sport. I'm sorry.
Try and slip one through.
I know, didn't he?
Well, I just know that Tony really likes.
Next, he's gonna be talking about tickets.
I'm like VAR tonight.
He put his feet in his mouth today.
You're freaking Lee Mason, Stan.
You put both feet in his mouth today.
You're Lee Mason. You're gonna get fired from VAR.
That was across the line.
Are you on fire or you're on VAR? Because I heard I'm on VAR. VAR.
Yeah.
I know Tony likes a good Champions League run, so hopefully we can do good there. Caicedo stay
and put for crappy players in there. We played Skamak and all those kinds of shit players in the group stages.
Look, I think players who got us to the Champions League will want to play in the Champions League, so we're going to put a pretty decent team out, and we'll have to navigate the group stage as well. Stan, Caicedo, where's he going to go? Is it going to be Chelsea? Is it going to be Liverpool? And these two meet at the weekend.
Just leave them to fight it out now. It's no longer our concern. But just going back to the previous topic that he was just chatting about, we're in a situation now where I can see about five players looking at the size of the squad and the names that are in the squad, and you can only ever put 11 out at one time. And, and including the arrival of David Raya, we can see about five names now that could be in the first team lineup. Do you know what I'm getting at? They're not like
the action.
They're not like big drop offs, just filling up space on the bench. May never get off the bench, but you can see 5 names, around 5 names now. It doesn't matter who they are because of the size of the squad and the quality that could also be in the starting 11. And that's got to be good. And I think that goes to what Gary was saying about there's no excuse now for Mikel looking at the bench in tight situations and thinking, do I really want to bring that guy on and take off this guy? Because, he can't do that anymore.
He's got to lean into it. He's got to lean into it more and believe. And I think that's coming. I don't want to talk too soon with Community Shield.
You said that last year, Ray.
No, that can't be that can't be your thought process. You should be at this point. There's a lot of money spent. Everybody keeps talking about all the money he's spent, but the players that he's brought in and the confidence that he's put in all of them. Think about what player over the last year, season plus summer, does he not have confidence in now? All the new players he's brought in, he's confident with them. Timber's been playing every day. Here we are. We saw it at the end of the season, and even now, he's getting. We know he's not.
Better.
He's not probably. He doesn't have the opportunity like Timber did because of injuries. Because our big guys didn't get injured, but we know he's got confidence in him because we've seen him play at the end of the season. I expect it to continue, right? Zinchenko, Tomiyasu. I mean, that whole back line, we've got numbers all over. I'm still surprised Holding is still part of this thing, but I don't even know. Does he get on the? Does Holding get on the bench?
I heard a little thing about Holding maybe going to Luton Town, and maybe that's just putting 2 + 2 together. But Holding will probably be
Luton Town.
Yeah.
Because how many subs? How many subs do we get? All right, we get how many subs?
9. I believe we get 9.
No, we don't have a spot for him. if we're helpful, we don't have a spot for him.
I know. I don't see Rob Holding being at the club.
How many on the bench now is it? Did you say 9?
9.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. They should just round that shit up to 10, innit? That's an odd number to have. I don't like that. That messes with my head. Either round that shit up to 10 or drop it down to 8. But 9.
11 plus 9 subs
from?
is 20 people involved.
I don't like that.
That's a round number.
Okay, that's easier to comprehend. I can
11
digest that.
plus 9.
Better.
You don't like odd numbers, Stan.
No.
I did not know that about
it's
you.
It's not about odd numbers. It's also I've just been about the numbers that people wear in their back or where they play in the pitch as well. I have a big thing about that as well. It kind of
I know you do. You do podcasts with friends here, and you get to know them over the years. I know what buttons to push.
See his nose is all turned up somebody just farted in his face. His mouth was open and everything. He just took it all in. And he's like, "Nah, this is just not right."
The first thing I do anytime I boot up a new career of FIFA, the first thing I do is I sort out everyone's numbers. I have to just get that thing in the positions all done right, and then we go from there.
That's all right. Paqueta is going for a large chunk of change as
chips,
well.
88 million. Yeah.
Why don't they do that anymore?
Lonzo.
A lot of countries, some countries still do it.
Lonzo, what do you think of Man City's business so far? They've got Kovacic, and I love the move where Ødegaard left him for dead at midfield in the Community Shield. They got Gvardiol in, and they're about to maybe get Paqueta. What do you think of the business so far?
Well, I think, like people have been saying, Gundogan and Morez are a big loss for them.
Yes.
But, it just takes time, I think, for new players to adapt to Pep's way of doing things. I think Kovacic is a little bit older. I don't think that he'll do the right. I don't think he'll be as productive as Gundogan. The new kid they got, I don't know his name. Is a center back? Is he a center back?
Gvardiol is a center back.
Right. So, I mean, if they're paying that much for a center back, then he's got to be pretty good. But, like I said, he has yet to play in the Premier League, and the Premier League is different than any other league in the world. And it's, in my opinion, the best league in the world. More competitive as well. So, getting in Paqueta is I heard that West Ham were kind of put off by City's offer.
Yes.
But you never know. So, they're still pretty good. They're still the favorite to win the league, I guess, by some people. Like I said, Gundogan and Morez are kind of tough losses because, like they said, Gundogan scored important goals. Morez is a pretty good winger. So, we'll see what happens. But I think, Pep has good enough teams where they can compete again for the title.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? How do you say this player's name, right? Because I always thought it was Paqueta. But lately, I've started hearing people call him Paqueta.
I've got Paqueta for me. That's not that I know.
Now,
Gary,
people talk about him.
Gary, how do you pronounce Paqueta?
Don't ask Gary. The way he says Ødegaard. Bloody hell.
You sounded like the Norwegians. Come on, just leave me alone.
Odegaard.
This
sound
is why
like-
Norwegian.
You sound
This
more
is
like
why
the
Norwegian
Swedish
slang
chef.
doesn't
You sound
sound
more like
right.
the-
It's not my fault.
You sound more like the Swedish chef off the Muppet Show.
Gary's still practicing Odegaard.
Odegaard.
Hey, Stan, move to Australia. That's a perfect time. 7:30 p.m. You could
Oh,
have your
fair enough.
beer and watch the game.
Fair enough. I'll leave tonight.
Be there in
I
time
don't know if
for
you're going to be
Saturday.
there in 12 hours.
Well, you don't have to be there
10
till
hours.
Saturday, 7 p.m.
Oh, wait, you
I
have a
would
whole
love
day.
to. I would love to go there if there wasn't so expensive.
Stan, we need a new balcony in Australia, though. Okay.
Yeah.
I think with the attire that you're wearing right now and the Hugh Hefner look, you could be able to afford it. I think. Arsenal. Gary, what do you think of City's incomings? Gvardiol's a good defender, in my opinion, but I don't think Kovacic is very good.
How much was that Guardiola, the defender's transfer? How much?
Uh,
did they
or
pay for
90
that?
or something.
88 euros.
Isn't that the most? Because I remember when the club that was
Most expensive
selling him,
centre back.
that's what the owner said. When we sell him, we aim to make him the most. I was like,
Yeah,
bloody hell,
I
he
think it
must
was
be good.
88 million and 100 million euros.
Be interesting to see how he compares to Saliba. He's quite young, isn't he? This kid probably won't play straight away.
He's decent. He played well in the World Cup. He's a decent player. I think he's a good signing for them.
You know what?
Kovacic, to me, not so good, Gary.
You know, I was just going to say Pep keeps switching up. Think about the last, 2 or 3 seasons, he's done something different every time. You know, Arteta's trying to follow his lead, and he's already changed, right? Like last season, it was the 4 center backs on the back line, no problem.
I think that's what he's going to do again,
Right.
Gary, buying that
So,
kid, isn't it? Do you think?
Exactly. So, like this time
That's
around,
it, innit?
he's going to do something different, you know. And he's considered the best in the world. And look at what you can't cut and paste what he did from one season to the next, right? For the first 2 seasons of winning, the Premier League, no striker needed. Next, then he's like, you know what? Let's switch this up.
Striker not
Everybody
required.
needs a
Batteries
striker.
not required.
Everybody needs a striker now, right? So Harlan, I go get Harlan. Now everybody's looking for a striker. Guess what? They don't exist, right?
So what do you think? Season after next, he'll have no goalkeeper and an extra man in midfield. You'd be like, what?
We keep on repping fly goalkeeper.
And
keep
no
repping.
shots
Rush-
on goal.
Rush
because you
Dolan.
can't-
First goalie. Kane got to win something now. Yeah, he's got it with Bayern, right? I mean, he's going to win a few
That would be the best.
Bundesliga.
You know what? They have to do. Amazon has to go over there. That would be the best if they
In German.
don't pick up a trophy. We want to see what's going on. Subtitles and all. I don't care. Think about it. That would just be like the best drama of all time.
How much
Well,
did
I
they
don't know.
overpay by? How much did they overpay by?
Well, look,
Because he's
he
They
had
didn't
1
overpay.
year.
I don't think
Yeah,
they
probably
overpaid.
30 million,
could've-
probably, Tony. 30 million.
he could have signed anywhere in January.
He had 1 year left, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't
Um,
think you overpay if they get like the 3 trophies or 4
30
trophies,
goals.
right?
Yeah.
Or if they get 3, all the German trophies, and maybe
They're gonna get him
Champions
anyway,
League,
Gary.
they get their money. Yeah, they're gonna
How do you
destroy
know
people.
that?
They're gonna destroy teams, right? In the German
Dortmund
league.
came close.
So it's all about the Champions League for them, right?
yeah.
Having 1 year left in your contract now seems to mean shit, isn't it? Back then it used to mean
Yeah.
like you're coming in like and just throwing them like pennies. Do you know what I
Boosted,
mean?
No,
right?
they're
Nobody-
No, it doesn't mean anything.
Now think about it. Everybody's talking
That's
about
your
a 20
David
goal
Raya.
scorer, and Harry
Yeah,
Kane
man,
now
that
gets
talk about
30,
that.
right?
Unless
In
you're
the right
Edu.
league, you're getting 30. So
It didn't mean anything to Edu and David Raya. So
If they called Raul Senieri, right, Don Raul, because if they thought of his transfer dealings, then we should be calling Edu the Baron or some shit like that, like a higher peerage, because that David Raya deal, man, is like.
I thought he was coming for. I thought it was going to be about 30 million for David Raya.
How
and
did he
then all of a
conduct a deal
sudden-
like that? He probably walked into the room, right, to do negotiations, and then he probably pulled out Darren Brown, who'd done some mind trick on him, and they decided.
Get out,
and
mind
it
trick.
was like it was just like.
This is not the goalkeeper you're looking for.
because they wanted like, what is it? They wanted 40 for him, and like next thing you know, Arsenal's like, no, we're not giving you 40, and we're not even gonna take him.
Yeah.
Not permanently, anyways.
No.
You guys
We're
hold back.
going to give you a number. It will be a single digit, and it's going to be below 4.
And you got Paul Daniels. When I click my fingers, you will agree to this.
Paul Daniels, you're going to like this still. Not a lot, but you're going to like it. Not easy to
Not
say,
a lot.
is it?
Not a lot. Only 3 million.
So they paid 3 million with an option, or is it an option to buy, or an instruction to buy, which then pays the payment for next year, which helps us. Why are Brentford doing us favours? They're like, we need to pay next year, right? Because our financial fair play. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, anything to help you lot out. Brilliant. The things have changed for Arsenal, man.
Yeah, now we just go.
We're moving.
Then we go crazy and just go get Tony. Tony comes back and he's like, you know what? I'm going.
Now you're on board, Gary.
What do you mean? I'm going to Arsenal. Well, no, what do you mean? No, I'm going. Just. I'll talk to you guys later.
I was the first one here to talk about Ivan Toney last season and before.
We're talking about him when they came into the league. Stop it. Stop it. We've been talking about him forever. We're like, why?
I'm taking it, Gary. I'm taking it.
You're taking this one, okay?
Hey, if I'm getting blamed for Nuno Tavares, I'm definitely taking Ivan Toney.
No, you can't take one that's not yours. That was all yours, man. That was all yours.
Boise said Caicedo done in the Premier League, though. That's in comparison to Balogun. Balogun hasn't been given that chance.
How times have changed for Arsenal. You have to look at this now. We're going in for players, and players want to come to Arsenal. It doesn't matter if other teams enter into the conversation. The players are really convinced by what they've seen and probably what they've heard when they're talking to the Edu and Mikel. It really is a fantastic thing to see. You know, some of the clubs that we've been able to blow out, and the player says, "No, don't worry, I'm going to Arsenal." And now you look at how we're being able to conduct ourselves in transfer deals. I mean, what was that? Edu, what was he doing over there at Brentford? It must have been like Nosferatu into the room. As he entered the room, all the flowers died and everything. They just wanted to get him out.
You know how he did it, right? He walked in there. There are 3 guys behind him with cricket bats, and they're like, "You want to talk to me, or do you want to talk to them?"
3 guys are like 6'5". You know what I mean, each. Do you know what I mean?
He's like, "I'll talk to you." All right, so this is what it's going to be. Just sign here.
I know. We've come a long ways from the 80 to 2080, you know, when we weren't quite there with our tech.
I saw the comment before there about Caicedo.
Done in the Premier League.
20-goal strikers, where do they exist? There's like 3 in the league. There's 3 in Premier League. One just left. One just left.
Kane.
So
Balogun.
He's 20 goals is 20 goals. Yes, it might come down, but guess what? It'll go back up if he gets the experience. He's not going to get you 20 today. That's for sure. But it'll get you 20 if you
I wonder,
let him grow, right?
Let's say he goes to West Ham. What do you think he's going to score? 10, 12 goals in a season, maybe, at West Ham?
Probably the low teens for sure.
Spencer said, absolutely on Balogun. Had a person complain that Arsenal wouldn't come off the price. We are not the goodwill of selling assets.
There's no reason for us to sell him, because if you know what we play him, they're gonna be like, no, we better get him before something silly happens, right?
Listen, I'm not against keeping him if we don't get a 50 million bid, you know, but I do believe in the end the players pretty much get the moves that they want, and he wants out. So we got to get some cash in return. Has Kane signed? We believe Stefan the Kane is on a German plane right now to Bayern.
Can I just
right. We have all kinds of players to sell.
No,
I know.
What players to sell? Nobody's buying
good ones.
Cedric, so stop it. Nobody's buying Pepe. Stop it.
This is the
Nobody's
thing,
buying Tavares. Maybe he might go, but
as much as I was bigging up Count to do a few moments ago, there is one other facet to his job that has yet to be proven, and that is getting money in for what we need to get rid of, because it really seems like, doesn't it, that apparently I was looking at something about Besiktas want Nicola Pepe. They want him, but then they've made it clear that we ain't paying any money for him, though. No, we're not giving him any money, but we'll take him.
We'll take him,
because I always thought that he was on 100 and What did they say?
80, 180.
I thought it was on 140 a week. It's on 180.
180, yeah. Yeah.
So,
That is
and then
crazy
underneath the
business.
report, it said that his representatives,
Unreal.
this is why they put it. And Pepe's representatives have yet to be able to entice Arsenal to just rip up his contract.
Yeah, I know.
How do you entice someone to just throw money down the fucking drain?
They've been trying to
How
do
do you
it for
entice? How do you
2
entice
weeks.
that?
You don't. It's going to
Oh,
be
come
done
on,
it 4 or
please,
5
please,
times.
come on, please.
We
We've
still
done
have
it
a
4 or
shitbag
5
six,
please.
man.
Oh, go on, just rip it
We-
up. Go on, please.
We still have a shitbag 6. Alonso, I reckon Chris Nix says he reckons clubs are desperate to be in this new Champions League format, Alonso. So this is where all this money's going to in this window, you know?
Yeah, apparently there's 5 teams right now in the Premier League that could join the Premier League spots. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of good, but then again, it's kind of iffy because, the rules were that the 5th spot was always for his best team. So, what do you mean for Europa League? There's 3 more spots going for, them too. So, it's good for money revenue, I guess, and sharing all that stuff. But it's kind of good because then that means that team has to panic by, which
Yeah.
is funny because we're always ones being used to that position. It's different. It's gonna be different because then you'll have teams fighting that don't really do that, like Villa, like the Brightons, like the Newcastles now. So it's good, I think, because it'll raise competition. Other than that, like I said before, this is the world's best league, in my opinion. And any given day, any team can be upset. So, in a way, it'll be different, but I think it'll be a good different.
Yeah. The McChronicle here, thanks for joining us. And being in more competitions at the year's end actually helps team morale. If you understand this, players are going to be more involved in each and every game. You'll have a game every 3 or 4 days, and you're winning games, and you have that momentum behind you where you're.
Yeah, but you can't be playing soccer 38 minutes. You can't keep doing it.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, we'll split Saka's minutes. We haven't even started the season. We can't be on Saka's watch yet. Saka watch just yet. Tony, who do you want Caicedo to go to? If
I
you're
don't
an
give a
Arsenal
shit,
fan,
right?
okay. Liverpool or Chelsea, you don't really care.
Vancouver Whitecaps. Pretty neat.
I think this season's gonna be a lot like the 16-17 season, where
Okay.
like we finished 5th on 75 points. Any other year that would have been qualification.
Yeah.
But
So you think
the
there'll
top
be a
5
lot
was-
more competition, Tony?
yeah, United's gonna be better.
Mm-hmm.
City's probably gonna be a little bit worse.
Yep.
I think we'll be about the same.
How are we going to be about the same?
I think maybe a little. Well,
How are we
about
gonna
being
be
a little
about
bit
the
more, a little bit
same?
less, a little bit more.
How
a
are
little
we
bit
going
less.
to be about the same?
That's just his judgment.
No, but like,
Judgment done.
I got to defend Tony here.
That means either all
We
of our
signed
young
3 players, Gary.
They're good
yes,
players.
that we needed. We needed all 3.
How many players?
We needed
do
all
you
4
say,
actually.
How
4
many
players.
do you say we always need, Gary? Do you
Yes.
say 10? Is it 10?
10.
It was 10. Yeah. And
Um,
it's going down. At some point, it has to
30%
go down.
of it. It's 30% good, Gary.
Yeah.
We got 4. We got 4 players.
But
3%
Tony,
And if you know
every
what,
year,
we got 4. And if Milser Pro is
I'll
healthy,
take a 30%
right?
raise right now. I'd be
that
happy
would
with
be
that.
5, right?
Yeah, but you have to count. Jorginho's been added in.
But Tony, Gary always talks about winning the death, so he kind of has it now, right? Right, Gary?
At some point, the number's gonna go down. I've been saying 10 forever because I know, but you know what? We don't have a good. 23rd and 24th best player on the team yet. So yeah, you're right. We don't have the 10, but I don't want that. I don't care about that right now. I think
We're
we have a
getting
good
better.
16, 17
Yeah.
players right now. And
I
we
get the
can
feeling
run
that
with
if
that.
Gary was working as a cashier in an establishment somewhere, I'd have to check my change before I walked away, just to make sure.
You might have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Gary,
You know what? You walk in there with that robe. I'm taking you, buddy. I know you can't count. You're oblivious to what's going on in the world today.
I agree with.
You were talking to yourself walking down the street. There's no way you know I gave you back 5 pounds when you were supposed to get 50. There's no way you know it.
I'm eccentric. I'm eccentric. I went to work dressed like this.
Spencer thinks Chelsea will give it one more shot tomorrow for Caicedo.
So can we fill out the 26-man European roster?
No. No, but we will. I do agree with you, Tony. I think Manchester City will not be as good as they were last year. They will be up there. Arsenal will improve by 2 or 3 points.
The league will be tougher, so I think it will. Even if they're that bad, everybody else will be beating each other up. So it's not like it'll be, somebody will just run away with it. I mean, we kind of ran away with it ourselves, right? It might be a battle now. That's all.
Matt Chronicle said, Kovacic has never been a goal scorer. I really don't understand that one unless he's Rodri.
Yeah, because
I thought he was defensive midfielder, right?
Yeah, has he played in defence as well, I think, no?
Never seen him as a goal scorer.
I was a defensive player.
Yeah, he was always been a defensive midfielder, so he never was a scoring threat like Gundogan was.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that he's not the fastest person on the team either. So, I think there was a tackle that Declan Rice did on, I think it was Kovacic, if I'm not mistaken. So
Rodri, maybe.
Yeah, it was Rodri.
And that was what we bought Rice for.
Is it a case of Pep's so good, he's going to be able to make him run faster and score loads of goals?
I always said the best managers.
Sorry, Alonso, I didn't mean
the best managers will overachieve. Will get the best out of every player that they get, and Pep is doing that, right? Ake and Akanji those are names and Stones, right? All names that they did well for them last season, but not necessarily. You didn't think they would be the lead names on the team sheet when it come down to it. So I kind of feel like he's a magician doing things, and just that's what good managers do.
I kept wanting us to go in for Ake for free.
Tiger and
that was easy.
Yeah, he's been a good acquisition for City. Tiger and Gunnar said in the chat here, Tony will come to Arsenal in January and join his teammate Raya. But Bargav left a question here for you, Tony, and we'll go around on this one. What do you think Arsenal need to do to guarantee the title? People still hesitate to say we're going to win the title. One more piece. Striker?
We definitely need a striker, but the most important thing is rotating players. But we definitely need a striker.
Stan?
Yeah, sell Balogun and Nketiah and bring in another striker. That way, then we still have people that can cover for Saka, and Jesus can even go out there as well. So yeah, that would be it for me.
Okay, Alonso.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Stan had said, so Eddie and so Balogun. I still think Martinelli could play striker. I've always believed that he could, and moving Mosafo on the left. I wouldn't be bothered by that. We had Trossard as well. I think Trossard does more than what Jesus does. And also Zinchenko.
Tiger and Gunnar here. Great night of viewing here in Perth. So thank you.
Just before Gary has his answer, and I want to speak what Alonso said. I used to think for a while as well, looking at Martinelli when we first got him in, about him playing through the middle. And in fact, that's what I let him do on FIFA, but that's FIFA, right? But I actually think in real life, I think he's a player that he needs to have space to run before he starts shooting. Do you know what I mean? He like a toy that you rev up and go
Uses
and they go off.
speed.
I think if he's in the box and hanging around and waiting for the ball and being more static, I don't know if he's going to be as effective as he is using his pace to create space as well. But I can hear what Alonso's saying. I think that he could probably do a job down the middle. But I do, as I've watched him more and more over the time that we've had him, I think he's really more effective coming off the wing.
Yeah, 100%. Gary, what's the final piece?
If we're not going to bring any more players in, the only thing the one thing that will be key for us is the health of our players and Arteta learning how to rotate his players, because we are going to, he's going to have to trust that Saliba and Saka and Erdogan don't have to play every game. And he has to come up with a plan to get those wins. Like, there's no reason why.
What about Gabriel, Gary?
There's no. Well, I'm just going to go by. Well, Saka's Gabriel showed. He pretty much played all. He played all last season fine, right? So I'm not really too concerned about him. And we have
talking about the world class.
We have a player behind him, right? We don't have a player behind. Is it Saliba or Gabriel? We don't have a player behind right now.
Well, we got Timber behind Saliba. We got Kivior behind Gabriel.
If Timber's playing left back, then we don't.
White can play there as well.
So which one is it? And once again, this is the same situation we had the last time. White is playing right back, right? So is he playing right back, or is he part of the rotation in the center back? You know what I mean?
We don't need to tie too many players down. We have flexibility.
No, I know, but that's the thing. So they can't play in two positions, so we can't be back in the same situation again where okay, Tomiyasu's out, we're in trouble now because now
we're stacked. We are stacked.
I hope so. Like I said, that's why I said health, and I said we have to have a good rotation of players so that they're not getting taxed like they were last season. They cannot play every game like 10 games in a row. That can't be. We have to sit out games, periodically to make them be able to play all 50 plus games that they will play this season. Again. I was talking, you guys interrupted me. You didn't let me finish. And now you're interrupting me, so I can't finish.
I thought you were winding down. I thought you were coming to the end of
when am I ever doing that?
I know. That's why.
Hot pepper filling the rest of the word.
Shut up, Gary.
We just heard it from Gary. We have an admission.
Alonso.
Hi.
Would you play Trossard as your striker?
I would, because to me he's more effective than Jesus is.
Yeah, that's who I'd play there.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
If Trossard would have started for us to finish off the season, I would like our chances even without Saliba.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Yeah.
Because everybody's saying it was Saliba. How many chances did we have? How bad was our offense in those games? We had chances to score, and maybe we would have had maybe better opportunities to score in those games. And maybe we wouldn't have won 2-0 or something like that, but we could have won 3-2 easily with him on the pitch.
Why is it Saliba when we bought a center back that we didn't barely play?
He shouldn't have. Well, Arteta wasn't. That's why he shouldn't have brought him in. That's what I believe. He should have never brought him in because he wasn't ready to go.
Lacazette. Lacazette is a good goal scorer. He's a poacher. We asked him to do things that were probably not in his wheelhouse. And
maybe just shows you the different levels between the leagues as well.
And maybe in the French league, Lacazette knows where to be. The fact that Balogun kept pace with Lacazette, I think, is a good thing. You have an experienced striker in the French league who's scored a lot of goals, and you have an inexperienced striker on loan who scored a lot of goals.
The age. Everybody keeps looking at the league, and I'm like, it's the age.
You could flip it, couldn't you? You could flip it and say Lacazette scored as many in that league, and you go, does that mean then when Balogun comes back, he would score as many as Lacazette did in this league?
Ooh.
Well, he's younger, so once again, the age plays into.
See what you did there.
So if you don't believe that, then
Jedi powers are strong.
Nobody buys for potential, right? So, and I don't think that's true. I think
that's an Obi-Wan Kenobi robe you're wearing, not a Hugh Hefner.
That was like 3 cups and the peas under one of them.
Yeah, I have to feel though that we would deploy
Stan's
Balogun.
wearing the wrong color.
I have to feel that we're a better team now with Balogun that could support Balogun than when we had Lacazette 2 seasons ago. You know, that's what I would say. Liverpool agree. British record 110 with Brighton for Moyes. Caicedo. Thursday night midnight deadline set by Brighton. Highest bidder wins. Yeah, and I think they're going to leave it up. If Chelsea would come and top that, I mean, he would go to Chelsea. So it's all going to go down tomorrow, as Timber once said.
Are you sure? Byron set a deadline of last Friday for Kane, and it still wasn't.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, Liverpool, and/or Chelsea and Brighton want to have a settled squad going into first game of the season. Of course, it could drag on, Tony, but Brighton are kind of drawing a line under it here, and they've got themselves a bidding war now.
Tony Blue, mate.
He's good. He's a high level. We don't want to mess with him too much.
We were lucky that kind of Trossard was sort of like on the bad time of the manager, and the manager was let's get him out of here. We were good to get Trossard at what we got him at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the manager just
right place, right
totally
time.
hated him.
Master stroke with Trossard. Master stroke.
The manager just did not like him at all.
Yeah,
listen,
that's fine.
I did just say on the back of that though, after he left, the manager did say some nice words about Trossard and said that he felt sorry for his part in some of the ill feeling or whatever. Words to that effect. I'm paraphrasing, but he did. I saw it in an article. He did say some good things, and he didn't say it was all his fault and blah blah blah. So
here's one from a Tony lover, Tony Don here, Tony Stan. Don Juan, never disagree with Tony the Great. His ball knowledge is unparalleled.
What, Don? What has he done to you? It's all right. You know what? I get it. Yeah, no, it's all right. I'll help you out. Whatever he's done to you, I'll try to help you out.
Change it to the Tony Don 1 player.
What do you call them?
Swap out the word balls, exchange it for testicle.
Yeah.
Or these nuts.
His testicle
nuts. Oh, these nuts. These nuts.
Why did Arsenal? Of course, Tony's got his fans as well. That's great. Why did Arsenal lose the league? Because we couldn't defend in the last 9 games. Saliba
I don't believe that is an entirely.
Well, Gabriel Jesus said that as well. Saliba got injured. We now have Timber who can play.
If Tony was managing, he would have said Jesus wouldn't have said that because Jesus wouldn't have been on the pitch screwing things up for him. He would have had Trossard out there probably scoring goals, and we wouldn't even have cared about the defense. I believe that.
Yeah.
If you look at the games that we struggled in and all that, we had opportunities to score in that. No way should we have been struggling against Southampton, right?
3 draws.
But we could have scored against them if we wanted to.
Yeah.
We definitely had opportunities to score in every game, except for probably the Brighton one. But I mean, we lost to Nottingham Forest, and that had nothing to do with defense.
No,
right? Gary,
we lost 1-0 to them. Come on,
we ran out of steam, Gary.
Gary. Yeah.
We did. Alonso.
To Gary's point, we hit the crossbar or we hit the post against City the first game when Eddie and Nketiah couldn't bag it in.
Yeah.
So the ability is there to win these games, but I think when we lost to teams like Brighton and Nottingham Forest, we just lost gas, we lost energy, we lost fight, and it showed. And unfortunately, we took our anger, or they took our anger out on Wolves, but we almost had it. And that's what's disappointing is that we had the players there, but Saliba was a huge miss. And they always say a good defense always beats a good offense. And, we had the firepower in those games and just decided not to show up.
Yeah.
What I don't understand as well, I'm trying to say, on the back of what Alonso said, what I don't understand is, if I'm the manager and I'm looking at a team and, you're looking at individual players' deficiencies, for example, at the end of every training session, I'd be like, right, Eddie, Gabriel, stay behind for an extra 40 minutes and that do some finishing drills. Does that never happen? I mean, does that never happen? Or, if you're a player and you're very one-footed, do you never spend time trying to, make yourself more valuable
you did it.
by practicing on your weaker foot? Doesn't seem like it. Some players are like, yeah, I'm just left-footed, that's it. Or I'm right-footed, that's it. I mean, don't you try to make yourself more valuable? Don't you work on your weaknesses? I'm telling you, man, Gabriel gets a lot of chances. Eddie gets a lot of chances. We create so many chances in and around the box, and we have so many near misses, don't we? We either fire it straight at the keeper, or we hit the bar, hit the woodwork, like Alonso says, or we just place it wide. But we get a lot of chances. We get more chances, and I'd like to see how many chances we get compared to the other teams, because it feels like we get a lot. Sometimes we win games 2-1, and you look at it and think, we should have finished at 4. Could have scored 4 there, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Especially the first half of last season.
Yeah.
They're just missing
We
so
saw
many
we
goals.
saw that in some of the games. Think about it. If you look at all the games we played in the preseason, same thing. I mean, against Manchester United, we should have scored at least 1 in the first half. At least 1. We had multiple opportunities to score, right? And we didn't score. We had, I mean, just in the Community Shield, right? We had at least 3 or 4 opportunities to score there, and we didn't. Right, so we're getting opportunities to score. We're not clinical enough in front of goal. It comes back to haunt us, and then we complain about our defense. So, what if you don't score? Then it's the psychology works on your defense as well. They're like, I'm doing all I can without Saliba, and you can't put a ball in the goal. So, at some point you get wears you down.
It could work from the midfield as well, right?
Not what I get the psychology
as a midfielder, right, Gary?
Yeah.
As a midfielder, you could be going, I'm putting on a plate for you every time, and this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you're the provider.
Rule said, really don't want to see Martinelli and Trossard as forwards. They have different attributes. Their best attributes would be stifled in that position. I believe Trossard could prosper better than Martinelli is, for the reasons that Stan pointed out. For Martinelli, he needs some space on that left wing.
We're not talking about
Trossard could be that
for a month, though. We're talking about in a pinch, right?
A game or two, yeah.
Right, and that's what we need. Like for me, I'd rather not stick to my guns and say I cannot play Trossard or Martinelli as a forward if I have an opportunity to get 3 points without without having my guy there. You know what I mean?
If they're playing, Gary, it means that Havertz is out. It means that Gabriel Jesus is out, and it means that the mighty Eddie is unavailable as well.
No, I don't think Eddie's part of the equation. If he was, he would have played in the Charity Shield for me.
Yeah, he's not going to play against City.
All preseason, he was starting, right?
Yeah.
Right?
But look, I'm happy that Eddie was not involved against City, and that's where Mikel is excelling.
I look at what I see and I go, all preseason he was starting. Now suddenly, you know what? Nah.
Well, Stan, what have you got?
Here's the thing, then, right? Maybe it's a case of we're all looking at the people that we have available for the forward line. Take Balogun out of it, right? He's gone, right? Everyone seems to be in that sort of like Jesus role, don't they? Trossard and Havertz, again, they're kind of like the false 9. They're not out-and-out strikers. The only other out-and-out striker, penalty person, is Eddie. And as Gary said, when push comes to shove and Jesus is out, he went with another false 9. So when I was saying earlier about selling Balogun and Eddie and buy another striker, maybe that's not what Arteta is thinking. Maybe Arteta doesn't see us playing with somebody through the middle who doesn't play as a false 9. Do you see what I'm getting at? Maybe that's the way we play, is with a false 9. So maybe Eddie is kind of the odd one out. And by selling him and bringing in, say, a Vlahovic, maybe Arteta's like, well, we ain't playing that way now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
What do you think? I mean, should we not have that alternative? Should we be so one-dimensional where everyone we play through the middle is going to play the same way? That means there's no plan B.
No.
You know what I mean?
I think, and you're going to talk about what is the plan B this season.
It's one-dimensional then.
Havertz. Plan B has to be Havertz. He's tall.
Yeah,
he's that kind of a player.
But he still plays the false role.
No, I think he can play as a striker though. And I think Gabriel Jesus plays as that focal attacker, and Eddie does as well. So I think we have 3 recognized strikers.
Anything like anything. What do we
I know that. I know
Why
that.
did you even you said it? You said it. Does he play like a
Gary,
striker?
He's going to
Does
get
he
goals
play like
for
a
us this
false
season. I
nine?
don't know how many, but he will
No,
score for us.
but no. I want him to be to do well. I do. But does he
I
play like
know,
a
you
false
just-
nine?
No,
Does
he
anybody
won't-
here believe
no,
he plays like a false nine? All right.
no.
Does
he'll
he
be
play like a striker?
Yeah.
What? Tell me with the stats how he plays like a
You're being
striker.
harsh now, Gary.
I know I am, but I want.
Did he not entertain you against Monaco?
Okay, let's say this. He plays as a striker, just not a very good one.
There's levels. I
No,
know
but
there's
I'm saying,
levels for this.
but the level of the striker that we need is
Yes.
higher than where Eddie is
Yes.
right now.
I
Right?
agree.
Gary,
Oh, yes, sir.
have you ran out of coconut water?
No, I still got
Are
some.
you angry?
I'm good.
But as Rob says, right, if Havertz is the plan B, then the question does go to then what's Eddie then? Because I thought Eddie was the backup striker and
He's
all of
plan
that.
1A.
If you're Eddie, is that where you want to be?
He's plan 1A.
Is that where you want to be if you're Eddie?
You know what?
That's all he
should have known.
That's all he is.
He should have known Stain that if he can't get the job done, and now Arteta is showing more ruthlessness in the way that they're doing business. Arteta and Edu are doing business now. This is what he asked for.
If he
Right.
wants to be
So he needed to
number
improve
one,
his game, right, to
Sure.
make it easy for Arteta to pick him.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing that. So what is it? Is it Arteta's fault that
No.
at some point he
What we
needs to be
have
improving
is-
his game to fit into this play, right?
We have
So-
competition.
So you guys are saying,
Right.
but what it looks like in the chat box that people are saying is that you're thinking that Havertz is going to be playing more as a tip like Eddie does when he comes in, not as deep, not as inverted, or if that's how you want to call it. You're going to. Someone says that. Someone says that. BX says Havertz is going to be in the box sniffing out chances, which is kind of how I expected Eddie to play, right?
Like Granit Xhaka.
Boise says poacher. So okay,
Yeah.
I didn't
Gary,
think
take
that. I
care
didn't
of a
think he
dog.
could.
It's
I
not
didn't
my
think he
dog.
could play that way. Oh, that's me. Sorry, that's in my area. They're getting attacked by seagulls, Tony.
He sounds like Gary's dog, though. He does sound a bit like
They
Gary.
did. Sound
Oh,
like a
it's
little
chilling, man.
carrier.
You
Don't let
Talk
a
to us,
seagull take it away like a pterodactyl.
There you
Stan.
go.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Like the
Stan's
proposal.
watching it live.
Hawk. An eagle come down like the proposal. Kivior needed to be played more than once Saliba went out. Gary, I was heartened by the fact that Mikel Arteta could have gone with Eddie for the Community Shield, but he didn't. He went with Havertz. Isn't that a good sign?
What does it mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
It means he doesn't rate Eddie as highly as Havertz in that
Stan,
position,
go
right?
check on that dog.
I just
When
I
they're
don't like
playing
the
City.
I don't know. I don't like the fact that it took him $100K a week and a new shirt and a 5-year contract to figure out that you
I
guess
don't
what?
like that guy.
I could probably go spend
I don't like
I could
that
probably
guy.
go spend 65 on a washed up player for 3 years, and I feel more comfortable with him. That's where we're at. That's exactly what he did. This player's done nothing for 3 years, one shot in a Champions League final,
Harsh.
and everybody's laughing at us because we picked him up. Everybody's laughing at us.
No,
We might
Do you know what?
they're all laughing at us.
we're doing
Do you
better
know
than
what- do you
Mason.
know-
He's doing
Do
better
you know
than
what's
Mason Mount.
ironic?
No, but-
Do you know
but
what's
I will-
ironic about that, Gary? There's plenty of people that don't like me, but none of them want to pay me $100,000 a week. None of them. Not even between them.
Boyce said, criminal that Trossard never started more games end of last season. Exactly. He's been performing at a high level.
April, I looked at the stats. He played. I think he started after we were knocked out of first place. That's when
As
he started
recommended by Ray and Stan before he was even bought. We were talking about Trossard. But he's gone to a different level. I'm counterbalancing the Nuno Tavares thing. You
You're
see what I'm
trying,
saying?
but
That's
I'm
fair.
not giving it to you, Ray. You're that stink is not coming off. I'm very sorry. You're just gonna have
I
to
know, I
stay
know.
stinky with it for as long as we'll let you. You know.
Stan, you don't think Trossard has an accuracy?
Let me say
Oh.
something. Let me say something,
does
Ray.
stink.
You could be using new and improved Persil automatic.
Odegaard.
That stain ain't coming out.
Oh, what about Odegaard? That's danger come out, right?
Odegaard.
Yes. All right. Here's a
Do you know,
question.
hang on, do you know the worst thing about Trossard? Then we
Zebulon.
really wanted him to come before there was even news of him. And
Yes.
I play FIFA 20 because I'm cheap and I ain't buying any new ones. And on FIFA 20, Trossard shit, so I can't get him in my team. His stats are just not good enough. I'm really gutted. I really want him,
on a
but
different level.
I ain't having no players like 76 like overall in my team. It's like, no, man.
Is it 23 available for you by now?
Yeah, but I'm not playing on the Xbox Live thing. I've cut my subscription in there.
You'll hear the Angel as well once you go to
Don't play it
Arsenal at the Emirates. You'll hear the Angels, Tony, as well. You know, North London
Don't
forever.
fucking remind me.
I know you love that song, Tony. What's a realistic expectation for Havertz? Says Zebulon here, my co-worker Zebulon. This season, how will he fit?
Depends where Arteta
10 plus. Over or under 10
goals?
goals?
Ask you to give like explanations as to why you
Tony.
can't answer the question. He just asked you for a guess. Just guess.
Gary, you're going to make it easy for him.
Can you imagine Tony as a murder witness in a court case? Yeah, he'd just be like, I can't get nothing out of this guy.
Tony,
he saw everything. He'd be like, I know he saw everything, but we can't get nothing out of this guy.
10.5 goals, Tony. Over or under?
12.
10.
I said 12.
12, okay.
I said 12.
Alonso, over or under 10.5 for Havertz?
I say under.
Ooh.
But I think he'll get more assists.
Okay. We're talking about okay.
I know. Are you talking Premier League? Or are you talking
Premier
overall?
League? Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, yeah. I think he'll get a little bit less than 10, but more assists.
Okay. Gary, goals over under 10.5 for Havertz.
I'm going over.
Okay. I think I'll go over as well. Stan?
What? Is he going to get over 10 goals?
Over? Is he going to get 11 goals or is he going to get 10 or less?
That's one of those seagulls.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because the way that we play, he should be able to, right? What did Xhaka get playing? He's going to be playing that left 8 role, get 7. We don't know where he's going to play. He could play in a variety of positions. So,
Stan, just count the seagulls. See how many seagulls is he in?
They're attacking the dog, Tony.
Put a chain on that dog.
Put a chain on that seagull. They've got to be. You've got to think that what we've paid for him, and he's got to be able to come up with that number. That's got to be a requirement. So I'm going to say, I don't know if he can get it in that, but that's what I require from him. And just going to say to Boise, good shout with the CD keys. I did get one of them before, but sometimes it's like the time I just don't end up using it. But I will get one again from like $4. But I know you're talking about choose. But I think a requirement has got to be over 10. Boise. It's got to be the requirement.
From Ireland, I believe Boise is. The fallout from Chelsea and Liverpool is going to be hilarious tomorrow. Somebody's going to be disappointed. Some fan base is going to be disappointed. Chelsea,
and you know what? And they won't ever say, "Well, Arsenal couldn't get it over the line." Remember that we couldn't get it over the line.
I don't know what's happening in Liverpool. My people at Liverpool, they were flittering around with La Via for 50 million. And now all of a sudden they're able to pump another 50 in.
It's just around that Tony Bloom.
Tony Bloom masterstroke.
It's just around that he's kind of
got old. Everybody got old.
Can't even see him, and he's
Tony. He's about he's like 2 blocks away. It's like Tony Bloom's like like the way he said like Chelsea and Liverpool can fight over it. You ever see that scene in the second Batman film of Christian Bale with the Joker, when he goes in, he beats up some of the gangsters, and there's 2 of them, and he snaps
protect that dog.
He snaps a pool cue in half, and he goes, "We've got an opening, but there's only enough room for one," and just throws down 2 bits of the pool cue. It's like, you got to fight it out. Whichever one's living can join the crew. That's how Tony Bloom is.
Don't play poker with Tony Bloom. Spencer wants to know, is Don Juan Mr. Tom? No, Mr. Tom would not be that complimentary towards Tony. And there's only one Don Juan. Would have rather a Madison than Havertz, but we rolled the dice. Poor Madison, he's got to play with Tottenham now.
Tony, if you're going to interrupt us, could you at least come onto the screen?
I know, man. When he's usually on the screen, he's doing it. Now he's like, you know what? I'm doing it long distance now. I'm not even going to be in the same room. I might not even be in the same state.
Let's hope Mikel learn from the run-in, gets us trophies this upcoming season. We're a pretty good team, so we have to hold that and be excited for the coming
Why do
season.
people think we're to learn when we had fourth, lost
Where's
it,
that noise coming
had
from?
first, lost it?
I know what is going on. It's like the invisible.
Tony, if you're talking to us while you're in the car, Z, that's not cool.
Yeah, we'll hear a flush. Gary, if your team
You
counts
know what?
10,
You know what? I mean, just a second.
the attacker loses confidence. It's 101.
You just,
Gary's trying to get a vision out of his head that I'm
no,
putting there.
exactly. Help me, somebody. Anybody got a phone number? I need to call someone.
Hey Stan, turn your eyes away right now. Don't read from Tiger and Gunnar. Also, VAR went against us in a couple of games.
Oh
Brentford.
boy, no, you did it.
Don't mention Brentford.
No.
Lee Mason. Don't mention Lee
Now
Mason.
he's in charge of training the new up and coming
Yes,
referee
he's training.
into the league. Man, here you go. We're gonna let you go because you suck at putting a line on a TV screen. But guess what? You're gonna be able to follow this big book of rules.
He probably teaches them, right? Gives them a hand. No, he gives them a handbook that's that big, but for the Arsenal, it's fucking like that big. It's a different book for Arsenal. It's massive. It's like a telephone directory.
Good point, Stan. We could probably use a striking coach to help being clinical. Rule is here. From Man City days, Jesus needs a lot of chances to score, and he's our striker. Yeah. Jesus brings a lot to the table other than scoring, though.
Van Persie,
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yeah. Imagine if Arteta brought in Diego.
He does bring a lot to the
Milito.
table, but could you imagine? But could you imagine how he does how much more he would bring if he put some more of those chances away? It's not like he's not getting into scoring places. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Yeah.
If he could up his goal return,
you know what it is? It's the same thing.
So much more
it's just at
valuable.
a different scale. Because if you think about it, Lacazette would be all over the place, right? We would see him on the back line, we'd see him high, playing defense and everything. And then by the time he's in the box, he's tired. I think it wears down. That's why I think we need to be able to rotate our players, because if you remember early in the season, Jesus would get the ball in midfield, make a pass, and like jet down the field and get into the box and be there. I think that wears on a player. That style there where you have to come back and support the midfield. I kind of feel like that's why you need somebody else to be able to do something similar to that. That's the way we're going to play. He can't do it too long. We know his injury. With injury, we shouldn't have to push him that much. So I kind of feel like if that's the way he wants to play, he needs to have another player that can do the same thing or be better at just being clinical. We don't have either of that right now, or we might have it. We'll see.
Real said, I think of Trossard against Liverpool his second game. He was thrown out of the game. Boys, yeah.
Just to answer, he says like that chip goal that he scored in pre-season, and that's what really frustrates me the most. That you can see him do sometimes the most difficult goal from the tightest of angles, but yet when he's in the box and he has some really close quarter shots provided to him that he can just tuck away, he misses a high percentage of them. And I hate seeing that in players. Yeah. You see them they get in the most fantastical of shot, but the bread and butter ones, they just can't sometimes think to tuck them away.
Mm-hmm. Rule said Havertz is the plan B. I'm sort of agreeing with what I said there. It is interesting when Jesus and Havertz play. And Gabriel Jesus is a little bit of an enigma that way. He will score difficult goals. Maybe a little bit like Ian Wright. I think somebody's come on, only Ian Wright chipped like that, said Boyce as well. I remember the chip against Everton. Havertz is in the box, sniffing out chances. BX, I think he will crash in at the back post as well and be looking for similar crosses. So he's got to do better than Granit Xhaka for me in that left A position. Whether it's Havertz playing there or Declan Rice plays there, it's got to look right this season. We don't want to be talking about missing Granit Xhaka in that position, and I think we have the players there to do it. Gary,
I think if we're missing Xhaka, then I think it'd be really hard for him too, because I would think he's more offensive anyways, so he'll be put in more situations, and he'll take those situations as well. Whereas Xhaka will just pull out of it, you know what I mean, or hesitate just enough and get taken off the ball, taken off him. So I kind of feel like if we would continue to play the same way,
Yeah.
going forward with him there in that spot, if he was playing in the 8 role on the left side, he's gonna get the opportunities, no problem. So
it's not hard. It's not a bad target to put. 7 goals and 7 assists is what Granit Xhaka got from the left A position, and you know
14 goal involvement. It's not bad.
We can improve in that.
Yeah.
Don Juan said, if Saliba would have played the last 9 games, would Arsenal have dropped 12 points? I don't believe we would have. We looked terrified with holding. We lost Saliba, calmness, and the fear factor. Yeah, and that Man City game was horrible. We don't want to go back to that. Saliba was the main dominator that we were up there. Main denominator that we were up there in first place. Yeah. Rolls Royce.
I disagree with you 100%, Ray.
You have to disagree because you didn't even think he could play ever for Arsenal.
Well, if Tomiyasu wasn't hurt and our other good center back had to go to right back, then he wouldn't have been.
But Saliba was one of the main factors we came second, Tony. You would accept that, right?
No.
So you're just gonna forget the man. You're just gonna forget the player of March, right? That didn't happen either, right? The player of March didn't happen, right? I think yes, Saliba was a loss, but we still had opportunities to score in all those games.
Sure.
And we didn't. We weren't clinical, and that has nothing to do with Saliba. So I know people will say, well, because the defense was struggling, it puts a lot of pressure on the offense. So then
Do you know what happened?
What? It's always pressure to score a goal.
We kept playing a higher and higher line.
I'll go one further than Gary.
Back there.
I'll go one further than Gary. I'll say that, yeah, obviously losing a player like Saliba, it's gonna hurt you. However, I feel that we were leaking goals, unnecessary goals, before Saliba's departure. How many times did we go behind in games, almost from kickoff, and have to claw our way back? It wasn't quite set at the back at certain times.
We went from conceding 1 goal, maybe, or 2 to more.
Point.
We were, Go ahead, Alonso.
So if you look at the goals scored, right, during that stretch where we're drawing, losing.
Yes.
Those goals mostly came from the left-hand side.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I
know where you're
going with this. I'm
right behind him as well.
Because like Stan and I had alluded to,
2 left-sided defenders. Okay.
Zinchenko, right, got bullied most of the time, if not all the time, which led Megalash, aka Megalegs, to lose focus and not get any help. So his party was also running on fumes because he never had played a full season in an Arsenal shirt because he was always hurt. So a lot of factors came in on that left side, which led to Arsenal losing games. And Xhaka was also part of that too. But mostly it was Zinchenko, in my opinion.
Yeah, listen.
The problem with that was
that's fair.
Nobody was dropping back in cover. The previous year, you had Xhaka and other players.
No, but I mean, the thing that we're debating is Saliba's out, so then that's why we lost. Not what happened the previous season.
It has nothing to do with
in the last season where we just finished, where we had a lead up until the last 10 games of the season. We were leading the league, and the last 10 after we had 9 left.
29
we just let let another team catch us. And that's without Saliba, right? At that point, right? So that's the debate is, if Saliba's there, do we win him? It definitely helps, but I think I think pulling Trossard also.
I still think the better question is, if Jesus doesn't show back up, what happens?
Listen, there's a lot of factors.
I think we would have definitely won the league.
Trossard could have continued to do his magic
Trossard
with
stayed
Martinelli and Saka up front in that front three. Saliba, and look, we said it all last season. Those balls being popped over Gabriel Magalhaes' head and Zinchenko being out of position because we were trying to be progressive as well rather than being pragmatic. So
Why was it Party dropping back and
Party was more on the right side. You know, he worked more on the right side, maybe wasn't left-footed enough to be in that position. In preseason, when Havertz started in the Xhaka spot in attack, he slotted up top with Jesus as the second striker. Yeah, and maybe something we're going to work on, BX. He's going to get to that number 9 position from a left 8 starting point.
Oh, that's what Zaka was doing.
Eddie was the cheapest solution, Tony.
Attacking player.
Mm-hmm. Trossard is ready for his limelight spot. His time is now, and let's hope Arteta gives it to him. Gary, Trossard.
I don't know what more
he put together.
What more does he have to do in the preseason to get a start?
He's put together a very good preseason, Gary.
Yeah, and I get the reasoning.
He has to do special favors for Arteta.
I get the reason behind having him on the bench and stuff, but I'm like, at some point, he should get a start. You know, do you guys think he should get a start?
I think he should start against Forest. I have to say.
Question. I'm glad you asked that because I was about to ask you, and I wanted to ask everyone in the chat box. This isn't what you would like to happen. Do you think Mikel Arteta is going to find a place for Leandro Trossard in the first starting 11?
No. Super sub. He's
getting
that super
one of those happy. You know what's going to happen, Stan? One of those happy accidents.
Do you remember Ronnie Rosenthal? You remember Ronnie Rosenthal for Liverpool?
Yeah.
He was a super sub. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a super sub. Sometimes players get pigeonholed into that position.
Yeah, but he wasn't player of March. He wasn't player of March coming off the bench. That's not what he was doing. He didn't get a hat trick of assists because he came off the bench. You know what I mean? So he's shown you that he can. He was starting in the league before he got here. He had 9 goals coming in, two at Liverpool, at Anfield, and we didn't play him. We didn't start him.
Don't we already have a super sub in Smith Rowe?
No, not this season. Not last season.
Hopefully
it'll come again. BX Gunner said minimum 15 goals. All comes for Kia. Havertz. Stan?
I'm just looking at Trossard's numbers, right? And his best season when he was at Brighton was the 21-22 season where he had 34 matches and he had 8 goals and 3 assists. Previous years, he's always 2 years before that, always 5 goals.
He had 9
5
goals
assists.
coming in.
Half a season, he had 9 assists, right? For Arsenal.
I thought he had 9 goals for us.
I'm talking about Brighton.
Yeah, but he had 9 when he came in, I thought. I thought he had 9.
No, he had something like 8, maybe. 7 or 8.
Oh, a real big difference.
No, yeah. So for the 2022-2023 season, he's got 1 goal and 10 assists in 20 matches. But that's kind of like a mixture, isn't it? Some of those are from Brighton as well, maybe. I don't know how they put it together. I don't know how they quite put it together, but I think that under Mikel Arteta, he's gonna, be a little bit better than he was at Brighton, and he's showing that. And I love the way that he's continually knocking on the door.
Now, Stan?
Yeah, it's chaos here. It's pandemonium. but I'm dedicated, and I'm going to stick with the pod.
Yeah, it's a Hitchcock movie.
Godzilla is going to turn up in a minute. But
he's got like a slingshot, and every time they get close, he's like,
Tony. The end of the world will not stop Arsenal's first game of the season. Tony,
I have this. It's a tennis racket. You press the button, and it's like electricity, and you get the flies. Get me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My neighbor has 2 of those.
Havertz is a second striker, a 10, a cam. He's not a centre forward for me. Under. But
I'd agree.
Why
15,
not? He's accurate.
Agree totally.
He's accurate. He can play there.
He's whatever
Havertz.
Mika wants him to be.
12 to 15. He's bound to get 7.
Yeah,
in
boys.
this team
I
for
think it's going to be
14.
easy to get 7. That's why I think
Easy.
he'll get 11 at least.
Exactly.
He's our highest paid player in the squad right now. Is Havertz. So you know you have to think that he's going to be playing integrally in the starting 11, not just off of the bench, right?
Yeah. Tiger and Gooner says 12 goals. Yeah, I think he's going to see a lot of time, Dan. Rule is pretty confident that Caicedo is going to go to Merseyside. The player that they needed a number 6 in their midfield. And while he can't play every game for Liverpool, he's going to help them a lot this season.
But why don't you, Stan,
He
why
might.
don't you went and
He
took
might.
all that
I-
Harvard's money and bought an out-and-out striker?
Sorry, Tone.
Said, why don't you take that money we spent on Harvard's to buy an out-and-out striker?
I don't know why we didn't do that. I mean,
I'm not in charge of spending that money.
yeah.
I mean, like if Arsenal's giving me 65 million, I probably would never have shown up
Dan,
at
you
Chelsea.
need to answer.
Yeah, I'll probably
Stan.
not be on this podcast, and no one would know where I was.
You'll be on an
No.
island somewhere.
Arsenal aren't stupid. They're not giving me 60.
You know that
Then
Stan
say that.
is not Stan Kroenke, right, Tony?
I'll tell you what I would do though, Tony. If I'd buy
Stan
you
would
one
have
of them
an
top
island.
wheelchairs. The money.
Yes.
I'll get you one of them top wheelchairs out of it. Though. Do
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and USB attachments, the whole shebang, mate.
Wi-Fi.
Put a bell on it like Breaking Bad bell.
Oh, you know what? I know what attachment you're gonna get for him because he keeps showing. You know, he has his attachment he likes on the seat. So I can only
Put that
imagine.
Breaking Bad bell on there. He started dinging it a lot.
And I'd be sat in the sidecar. I'd have a sidecar bit on it. Me in the sidecar. Me and Tony going on patrol.
You have a turntable?
Machine gun on the front of it.
Don Juan wants to know where did Liverpool get 110 million from? They were in 4 competitions only.
They found it down the back of the sofa. Hold on.
They had the money. They have the money.
They were looking for the
and-
keys and they found 110 million.
The outcry from the fans has spurred them into doing something.
They sneaked over the city and
I mean, I think as you guys said, at some point, not guaranteeing, but increasing your odds to make it into the Champions League is better than not. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So why you know what? Because it's just going to get teams are getting better and better. You're looking like an Aston Villa could surprise someone, right? With the players that they're bringing in, so it used to be,
Unai's
four
got
spots
some
now to
pull.
5.
You know, Unai's still got some pull somehow.
Yeah, he's putting some nice steaks on the barbecue for someone.
I
Need
think
Odegaard.
I think
Yeah,
Liverpool
go
could do with Caicedo. I think he's one player they could definitely do with because their midfield has been decimated.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
decimated.
Well, now they're going to have Szoboszlai and they're going to have McAllister alongside
That's easy for you to
Odegaard.
say.
oh, you're
Yeah.
not gonna tell us how shitty their defense.
That's
was
what I've been
last year,
practicing.
right?
Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai. Hey, Harry Kane's going to have to get good at this stuff.
Oh,
They get
I
away.
can't wait for that. I can't wait for that first interview in German, man. I'm telling you.
I'm telling
Can
you,
you
we
imagine
need.
all that phlegm that's going to be on the screen? Oh, get up. What are you doing?
Who was the guy? Roy Hattersley. Was it Roy Hattersley?
He's spitting image puppet.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Oh, I
Boy
feel
say
sorry
from
for
the Emerald
Roy.
Isle, surely from the Emerald Isle, who grew up in London for 6 years in between a country city slicker, big up Boise. Yeah, listen, rule all trophies are acceptable to Arsenal, and we need to be punching our tickets in all 4 competitions at a high
Is
level
that a
as well.
euphemism?
You know,
Punching your ticket.
I don't know.
Sorry. It's a different time, a different place. Derek and Clive, if you know, you know.
I didn't know that one.
I'd be more than Peter Cook.
Don
You know,
Juan,
you
I
know.
think Liverpool are hoping to recoup
on,
some money
Ray,
when
look
they
at-
sell Salah.
Look at Stan's robe again. Then imagine why he's saying this.
Okay.
He's dressed like fucking Hugh Hefner. So.
I should have put a cravat on.
110 million, is Caicedo worth that? That's
No.
the market.
No.
Yeah.
Is
He said
Declan
what's
Rice
interesting-
worth
What's
Declan Rice
interesting
ain't worth
is, the media, the takes from the media will be so different than if Arsenal would have spent 80 on Mudryk
Oh
or
yeah.
80 on
Yeah.
Caicedo,
Yeah.
105 on Rice, 65 on Havertz. But now,
Arsenal
but you
overspend,
can
but
tell
the others don't.
we draw the numbers
Yeah.
for sure. No matter what we do, we draw the numbers. All right, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the news.
We
Isn't it?
draw
We're
the
the
pundits.
news.
It looks like Caicedo's going to Liverpool unless Chelsea have some. We'll see what happens tomorrow, Don. Chelsea are going to have a
thought
chance to
somebody
have
said
BDS.
I thought they said
One
midnight.
last time.
Midnight.
Who's getting relegated? He said good night.
None of the players that have been bought recently over, say, like 75, 80 million, in my opinion, none of them have been worth it. Not a single one of them. I'm talking about Anthony, Jadon Sancho, all of them. They are not worth it. The market is overpriced. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You want this player? If your owner isn't going to back you and give you the money, there's another team up the road and their owner will. And then you're going to be behind that club. It's just how it's going. And I just think it's bizarre. I don't see how it's sustainable. Player caps, I don't think you could do that now. But then again, it's like saying, okay, we're going to do a player cap. No player can earn any more than 200 grand. We're going to have players going on strike and saying, right, I'm going to go and work as a baker. I'm going to work in a shoe shop. No.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you bring it in, but it's just getting ridiculous, isn't it? Look at Saka. Yeah. Look at Havertz. The money they're getting, don't get me wrong, they're gems of a player. But if we have to sit down with them again at the renegotiating table to give them a next contract, where have we been making the kind of money where we can say, okay, we're going to give you, like, I don't know, 450 grand a week? You know what I mean? I don't understand how that is sustainable. We ain't Saudi Arabia.
I'm going to step aside for a second, but answer this question. I'll start Alonso off first.
Convenient.
I'll answer it first. Okay, I'll say Wolves, Luton Town, and Sheffield United. Alonso, you there?
Yeah.
I want to bring you in, buddy. And who's getting relegated, Alonso?
I want Luton Town to be a good story this year. I think Wolves will start off slow, but I think Sheffield Wednesday will get relegated, unfortunately. But yeah, Sheffield Wednesday will be my guess to be relegated.
Who were the teams that came up again? It was Sheffield Wednesday, Luton, and
Burnley.
And Burnley. Okay.
Burnley almost always stay just 1 year.
And Alonso, you said Luton, Sheffield Wednesday, and who did you say was the other one?
Well, Wolves will stay up. Luton will go down. Will stay up. I hope. Sheffield Wednesday will get relegated. I mean, is it United? Sheffield United, right?
Right.
What about Wolves? Do they go down?
Wolves stay up. But Luton will stay up.
You think Luton's going to stay up? Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a good story for me. And it'd be good for our fans too if they stay up.
Yeah, I don't know much about the individual clubs that have come up, about their players and all of that. I know them as clubs, and just looking at that, I would have thought Sheffield would have had more chance of staying up than maybe Luton as the size of a club. But I don't know the quality of any of these teams, to be fair.
I think Burnley is coached by Vincent Kompany.
I think Burnley's got a chance of staying up, right? They're a yo-yo team, innit? They've got the experience. They've probably got a better infrastructure around them, having not recently been in the Premier League. They've probably got more chance of keeping up than maybe a Sheffield or definitely a Luton.
Yeah, I think.
There's so much in it 1 year than out the next. It's hard.
I think Wolves will stay up as well.
Yeah, I think Stan. I think Burnley will, and I think they'll stay up for good. Because people This is what I like about the Premier League. You see teams like Brighton still in it. I think you see clubs like Palace still in it, and you see these clubs that aren't normally in there, and fans expect them to drop out, but then they stay up somehow, and they continue their success in the Premier League. By success, I mean they're still in it. They've still been there for a while now, so it's good to see that. And I think you'll say with Burnley now with the good coach Vincent Company.
Is he good? Is he? I don't know much about him. Is he good as a coach? Is he? I don't know.
He's got him playing good football.
I suppose he's got him promoted, right? So that's got to be something.
Yeah.
So
attractive football.
I think in the past you've seen clubs like Norwich, go up and down.
I miss Sean Dyche. I had to say that.
Yeah. Norwich, and you see
Everton, right?
Yeah.
I was at Everton. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think he's still at Everton.
At Burnley, of course. He's over there. He's open fruits. Eating his open fruits.
And you also see Bournemouth also being up and down. So, yeah, it's good to see. Hopefully, Burnley can stay up as well, in my opinion.
So let me just recount. Alonso, the three teams that are going down, you said are the three teams?
Oh, they're teams, right. So I think it'll be between, I think it'll be Wednesday. Sheffield United. I think it'll be Crystal Palace.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it'll be
that's quite a heavy one, isn't it?
I think Brentford also go down.
You can only have three, mate. How many you said?
Yeah, I said Wednesday. I said Palace, and I said Brentford.
Tottenham without Kane.
Fuck it, let's put Tottenham in there and all.
It would be a very nice season.
Stick Tottenham
like that.
I don't. I was going to say. I think Wolves are going to go down. I don't.
Really?
I mean, they're not like.
Saudi Arabia have taken some
what improvements do you think they've done to their team?
Yeah, and they were poor
they've
last
done none.
season.
That's
they've
a good
done
point,
none.
actually. Who have they lost? Neves? Did they lose Neves?
They lost Ruben Neves, and they
Leeds
lost Cody.
beat them last season.
No, I don't think they've improved with the transfer. I don't think we'll see.
What was that?
Maybe
I missed that.
Yeah.
I said even Leeds beat them last season, Mr. Tom.
Yeah, so no, I have Wolves. I think Luton Town's going to be really tough for them to.
He's waking up right now, 3:00 in the morning.
He woke up in Swiss.
Somebody said Leeds somewhere.
I have Everton in my list as well, so I think Everton's gonna.
Everton are always down there. They just get out of trouble.
They
in
always
the
seem
end.
to squeak it, don't they? Somehow. Do you know what I mean?
You know what Everton did?
Hang on. So Gary, your three teams were
Wolves, Everton, and Luton.
Wolves, Everton, Luton. Yeah. Brighton beat Everton. I think Everton beat Brighton 5-1, and then Brighton were
doing worse
teed up to beat us at the Emirates Easter Sunday.
It's Sheffield United, not Is it Sheffield Wednesday? Sheffield Wednesday, is that the same as Sheffield United?
No,
it's
two different Sheffields.
I was getting, which is the one that's come up. I was getting mixed.
Sheffield
United, the Blades, not the Owls. I wish
it was Wednesday that we played in two cup finals, wasn't it?
Two cup finals in '93. Yeah.
Steve Morrow broke his shoulder.
And the Adams. We love Tony Adams. Burnley, Sheffield United, and Luton are the promoted teams. Yep.
I don't know who I think is going to go down. I've been listening to what the lads have been saying and that.
I think two of the three will go down. Luton Town and Sheffield United.
I think Luton's going to go back down.
Yeah.
And I think Sheffield might go down. But what the lads were saying about Wolves make a good point. I mean, they've lost some of their better players and they were struggling with them. So if they're not going to replace them with anything, where does that leave them? Isn't it? So I don't know. I laughed when you said Wolves at first, but now when you explained it, I think maybe Wolves are in.
They were terrible last season.
This brings me to my next point as well. And Don Juan says Steve Morrow fell off a donkey. Poor old Tony Adams. He's our captain. Tony Adams. Put respect on that name, Don Juan. But anyway, Saudi Arabia. they are taking some of the experienced players in the Premier League, players that are 26 to 30 years old, and Arsenal don't have a lot of them. Does that give us an edge
I,
a little bit?
I still have a question though. Is this a result of the World Cup? Them talking so much about Saudi football.
Saudi Arabia, us talking
Yeah.
about them, or is it because they are buying players from the Premier League that we're talking about them?
They came out and said the other day, didn't they, that we don't want it to look like do you remember back in the 80s when America was trying to get big and players were going there and when they were like 30 and they were like finishing. They said we're not trying to do that. They said we want to attract young players as well.
Yeah, so players who are probably like 27 to 29, and then maybe those players are thinking
I thought they meant a bit younger, as in properly establish it, and because they don't have fair play restriction rules, you're talking about people that in Saudi Arabia. I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right now, the majority of the players are in their late 20s.
But they're saying we don't want to just attract players that are coming at the end of their career. We want to bring in young players, with futures as well. They're trying to establish it like a league, and because they don't have the FFP rules like we have in Europe, you're talking about people that own teams that earn millions an hour, and this is like me having like a action figure collection. This is their equivalent of that. It's a football club they're probably like each owner are friends. They're like going against each other. They want to do better than a little bit like how the league was in Colombia for so long, where some of the cartels were like putting the money in and they were like their toys. And this guy wants to do better than that guy, and he wants to do better than. So when they meet up for drinks, they can, have banter. It's like an extreme play thing, but with millions and billions of dollars. I don't think it's when I say I don't think it's a bad thing, let me rephrase that. It would be hypocritical for me to say, I disagree with what they're doing in Saudi Arabia, because at the end of the day, I think that it's no different to what Europe has been doing to Brazil, or South America and Africa.
Yeah.
Those players have decided to leave their leagues in Africa and South America because Europe's going to pay them a better salary.
Yeah.
They're not saying, no, I'm not going to Europe. I'm staying with this club. This is my boyhood club here in South America. And now I'm playing for them. I want to retire here forever. They're not doing that. It's a job. They're looking at a better future.
I was just thinking, Casado should not announce what team he's going to until game time. He'll just run out of one of the tunnels with his shirt on, and then he'll do like a bait and switch. He'll come out in like a Liverpool hat. He'll come out with a Liverpool shirt, and then he'll rip it off.
Or Hulk Hogan stuff. There's a Chelsea one underneath.
Or I'm going to walk down this corridor. Which door will I go into? Door A or door B?
No, he comes out as a coach. It's going to
be like a live feed and everything. ESPN and everybody will be there as they follow him as he's walking through. He's gonna have like a boxing robe on, like the robe you got.
He can come down on a zip line
into the stadium.
Alonso.
He jumps out of a helicopter and parachutes into the stadium of his choice.
Alonso has said he has to leave us now. So
what?
Yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll be working early tomorrow, so I'll catch you guys on Saturday,
Sunday, one of those days.
Are you gonna watch along or no?
Gary's doing watch along.
I'll be watching along on Saturday.
Yep.
Fine, guys. Well, thanks for having me, and have a good podcast.
Thank you.
Lonzo's running off as the police show up.
Cheers.
I know that's Lonzo's. Like, I gotta go.
That's like you, man. Yes, take it easy.
We're 2 blocks away.
I see you. Bye.
Open the trap door right now. I gotta get out of here. Yeah. So listen, we gotta be excited. We're very good. We're a good team, as exhibited by our win over Manchester City on Sunday. The Saudi Arabian League will continue.
Ray. It was a draw.
Okay, technically it was a draw, or technically we won. I don't know.
It's called a win when you win.
We won the trophy. Did we win the trophy?
Does it matter how you win it?
It was a draw.
It got a little bit
It wasn't a
salty.
draw. It had to go to penalties. That's all. They don't just end the game, end final games like that.
Tony's
just
got me on a
and everybody gets a
technicality again.
trophy. No, it wasn't. It was not a. It was a draw, but we
I,
had to
I
win.
am correct. Gary, hush.
We still won. It wasn't a draw
All right.
at the end of the day.
We didn't share the trophy. We took it home.
Did not cheer.
know
What
what I
was
mean?
the score? Was it 1-1?
Who won?
That is a draw, sir.
Who won?
The McChronicle is right here. Most importantly, there's no Community Shield curse if you win on penalties. So it doesn't
There you go.
apply if you win on penalties.
Thank you.
know?
So we got the historian here, so we know what we're talking about.
He did not say you were.
What about will we face Matt Turner on Saturday, or is that impossible? He could be.
Well,
he could be playing
well,
against us,
It's not
right?
impossible. He's already signed. If he's already signed,
Yeah.
he's free to play.
I mean, he
Yeah.
hasn't actually practiced. I mean, he hasn't played in
No,
a game, right?
just put the shirt on and get between the sticks,
I-
right?
If you played goalkeeper, you know what to do.
Oh, you don't get rusty or anything, Tony? You've done this job before. You've just taken off a couple of weeks and done absolutely nothing in a game situation, and then just turn it on.
Wasn't
Don
he
Juan,
recently just playing for US?
Tony, the most important thing when you're an influencer,
Hey, look
Tony,
what you did there. You
Tony.
lost a buddy. He's gonna allegiance to Stan. What about me, Don? Come on, man. Do I
He's
get
gonna.
some- What about
He
me?
ain't gonna stay with me when he finds out I charge a monthly subscription fee.
Tony, the most important thing when you are an influencer and you have a following, you need to feed your following the content that they want, right? And Don Juan has called you out here, Tony. Come on, Tony. Arsenal won. I'm seriously considering changing my allegiance to Stan
You'll be losing your
Or
followers
Gary.
quicker than Kim Kardashian.
or Ray or
He
Gary.
didn't say Gary. He said Stan.
I
I'm
know,
feeling a
I
little
know.
like damn.
Slide it here.
Wish he knows who his choice.
Somebody show some love to Gary, please, in the chat box. Who's going to do it? Who wants to do it? I think BX will do it, right? Rule said he was registered today.
Yeah, we don't have any friends.
So, and given the number 1 jersey. There you go. He's going to be taking the kickouts, right? And picking the ball out of the net.
Stan, is that the correct number?
What's that?
Number
The number 1
for a
jersey.
goalkeeper?
Yeah, of course. The number.
It's a good start.
The number 2 should have 13, in my opinion.
The number 2 should have 13.
Yeah, number 2
What's that mean?
goalkeeper. Goalkeepers 1 and 13.
Oh, jeez. What about 12?
No, that's the substitute striker. Eddie should have
Oh.
12.
Stan. Hope Tottenham get relegated, says Tiger and Gunnar. So
You're pulling out a Robert Van Persie number there.
if Liverpool get Caicedo, will the other team get Lavia from Southampton?
You would think so, because they
Okay.
have. If they can afford Casado, then they could definitely afford Lavia, right?
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And is it Lavia it all started with Lavia, didn't it?
Southampton.
This
Liverpool
whole thing,
were,
no, the whole Liverpool Chelsea thing started with Lavia, right?
Well, no, for the longest time, Chelsea were talking to Caicedo for the past month.
But I thought somebody bid
3 bids turned down, didn't they?
and the next team
I know it's
bid
Liverpool,
like 45 or something like that. And that wasn't it.
Liverpool
Chelsea
had
thinks they
Chelsea
can
in.
trade for everybody.
No, I thought Liverpool to put 2 bids in. One was rejected, then they put another bid in, I think.
And then somebody else,
Meanwhile,
then Chelsea jumped in, right?
I didn't know Chelsea put a bid in for Lavia.
I thought that's where ours started.
Rejected.
Until recently, Stan, I think it might have just happened today. So,
Oh, okay. did
Gary,
I
you're
Chelsea?
good too, says Don Juan.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. He didn't say he wants to join my crew. He said, "You're all right."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm joining the guy in the robe."
Yeah, I mean, come
You
on.
have to-
He's like the Big Lebowski. He's like you
All of my-
after.
All of my members get a trip to the Playboy Mansion.
I know that's probably why he's coming. He's like, "Dude, I get to go." No, sorry, Gary, but I can't say no. to
Someone
this.
wants to know what's
All
behind
part
those
of the,
Venetian
all part of the
blinds.
monthly subscription fee.
Lavia to Chelsea looks most
Yeah,
likely
see,
now. The
you see
X.
rule right there. Chelsea bid 45, Liverpool bet 48. They want 50, and then the next thing you know, Casado.
Mm.
Big
It was
jump.
double that. It was double
Yeah.
that. That's just crazy.
Liverpool really needed it because they had Henderson and Fabinho go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. I
And
think they were
They
playing
lost
chicken.
Ops.
I think they were playing chicken, right? I think Chelsea and Liverpool were playing chicken. Who gets Lavia doesn't get Casado. And then eventually he's like, screw it. Let's just go get Casado and move on.
they were
Right?
they really were the last two pieces.
Oh,
of
the Brighton
this,
set a deadline. Okay, there you go.
yeah.
All right.
Brighton set a deadline of actually tonight, but they will carry over into tomorrow. Give Chelsea one last chance.
That's that £100 million
Don't-
exception to the rule.
They're really
right?
not deadlines, right? Come on.
When does the window shut? What day?
the end of the month.
Okay.
I think September, maybe
I
August.
still
I think it should be shut before a ball's kicked in the season.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that means it
We
has to
did.
open a bit earlier.
England did it, but all the other leagues keep going.
Yeah, they all should close at the same time. I don't get this. Like, you have a player for the first day of the season, and next thing you know, he's gone. Just no. Everybody. I don't know if they have to start at the same time, but you can't switch plays after a certain time just because. I mean, the economy of it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
So either we all stop at the same time, or you can't bring players in from another country. You know what I mean? So I say just stop it at the same time.
I have another question. Now that we're bringing in David Raya, which is the fourth player that we brought in for this window,
Yes.
does anyone see us bringing any more in before the end of the window?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many? One more.
Kudus hasn't been
One more.
sold yet.
Kudos.
No.
I agree.
Well, the
Kudos
winger.
is hanging
He's a
out
winger,
there.
right?
Yeah.
He's a
He's a
winger.
winger, isn't
He
And how
can
much
play
is that
through the
going to
middle.
cost? How much is that going to cost?
40.
45, 50.
Another fucking 100.
Another 40.
So
No, he'll be
100.
around 40.
Fucking
He's
down
another,
hundreds. Okay.
he's another Ajax player, and he's played with Timber before.
So what you're saying? Are you thinking that this needs to?
Don't we have enough
if we can
wingers already?
If we get outgoings, that's going to come in. Is that what you're saying? It's going to be dependent
Yes.
on outgoings.
Yes.
Really?
There was
You
an
think one more?
agreement. There was an agreement in place with Brighton already, but that's lapsed
Hang on.
somehow. They're waiting
Look at the chat box.
for Arsenal to come
Chronicle
in.
says, yeah, one player. Don one
Mhm.
saying, no, not another one for him. BX
Can't
is
see
saying,
it.
yes, another one. Oh, fuck, yeah, they're coming.
Either another attacker and or a centre back. Yeah.
Are they
As
trying
Chelsea and Liverpool rushing off to Brighton.
Are they trying to arrest with seagulls? Is that what they're doing?
Saudi
So
deadline
they're
is the end of
chasing them
September.
around.
So, yeah, look, the Premier League should be worried. The Saudi deadline is the end of September.
So we
Yeah,
all
they're
think
gonna-
one more's coming in then. Maybe.
Yes. What? Why? I mean,
Maybe.
they were talking
5
about
players.
financial. They were talking about maybe financial fair play being a part of the Raya situation, but I don't really see that if we were going to go ahead and do 30 million on Raya.
Yeah,
I
but
think
it's
we-
that was without a sale, right? But if you were to sell Balogun, if you
Yeah.
sell
Tierney.
Tierney, that's also.
Talk about
There's even
Tierney.
talk. I heard there's even talk that even Partey could still be on the.
Really?
Yeah, they say because Juventus now has sold a player or something like that, so now they have extra money. So they're saying that like they could actually go after Partey again.
But if
Real-
we do
real-
that, if we go down that avenue near the end of the window, then we don't bring in another person in that position, then I would say that we're light.
Yeah, I know. That's
You know what I'm
where you go.
saying?
Like that's where Lavia could come in because Lavia hasn't been sold yet. So yeah, you're right.
You'd imagine that Caicedo and Lavia is going to get decided tomorrow at some point, their futures. Rule is right here. Kudus is not signing for Brighton unless an exit fee is set, or I think it was a sell-on. They want a sell-on clause or a release fee. And Tony Bloom and Brighton did not want that to be the case because they want to, they're only interested in 100 million sales now when it comes to their players.
So what you're saying, if they sell Caicedo, they'll use that money to buy Kudos.
Yes, but they want to get Kudos, and Kudos's agent and or people want to insert a release clause.
And I
into-
think the whole this whole
into the deal.
Casado thing is it's changed the marketplace for players, because they told him, yeah, you can leave, and then they basically said, not unless it's for our price. So if that's the case, then why would you want to sign with a team if you have no control of the situation when it gets to
Well,
that point?
he
Why don't you
has.
sign a new contract?
No, Casado screwed up for sure, but like I'm just saying, that could be, that's what,
Well,
with the rest
You
of the
can't blame the
marketplace.
player.
He
I
signed a
don't
new
blame the
contract.
player.
He doesn't have to sign it. He didn't have to stay.
Well, he was in a tough
He
situation.
stayed. No, he stayed
in
because he
January.
wanted more money. It's all about money. The only
Well,
reason
no,
why he
they-
only reason why he resigned is because they paid him more money.
Yes.
it.
Well, he wasn't getting his move in January, so he had to
but
play for another 5-6
why did he
months.
resign? He resigned for more money.
Yes.
So
And-
that's where, so his greed got him in a situation where he has no control of the situation anymore.
Exactly. He's locked in.
Brighton also wanted to secure an asset so they could sell him for 100 million.
Yeah, but that's
This
why
summer.
a release
That
clause
doesn't help
should have
him,
been
though,
in
does
there.
it?
No,
Yeah, because
no.
he wanted out.
He wanted out in January and he didn't get his move in January.
So then he
he's
signed a
gonna-
contract that said you can't go.
Yeah.
And how long was that
definitely can't go now.
contract for? How long did he sign a contract extension
I
for?
thought I think it's like a
Another
4-year
year.
contract or thing.
Was it?
Well, there
What
you
he's
go
on
then.
now. I think the one he's on now is longer than, yeah.
Yeah, we said that earlier as well, Don Wands. I think BX said it. British transfer fee broken twice in one window. And the record will not be Declan Rice. So that's, as Stan said earlier, that's probably a good thing that they're not going to be
I
talking
know
about
the
Arsenal.
media hopefully has forgotten that Rice was sold in this window now.
Yeah, it'll be Caicedo.
So
Caicedo
think
will
about
be.
it. It's Harry Kane leaving, and it's Casado. So
Do you know what else will happen, Gary? They will spin Caicedo as this all-action midfielder, and Declan Rice is just, an English,
fine.
James
That's
Milner.
just fine for us.
He's
We'll
just
just
an
be-
English James Milner.
We'll just be in the back, just doing what we got to do.
But you know that comparison is going to be made between Rice and Caicedo, and it won't be in favorable terms. For Arsenal.
We're in a better situation as a squad, so he doesn't have to even.
Yeah.
Like Casado, they have to play really well, right? He's going into that depending on where he goes. If he goes to Liverpool, probably not as much, but if he goes to Chelsea, he's going to have to star there, right? That midfield is going to.
Well, he's going to play with Enzo. He's going to play with Enzo in midfield as well. So that'll be wherever he goes is going to be an interesting midfield. He's going to improve. He's either going to improve Chelsea or he's going to improve Liverpool, obviously, because he is a good player. Rule said all of our players are still up for grabs, and that's the way it should be. But I think we should be holding firm on reasonable prices for the better players. We still have probably a shitbag 6. As Stan would say, that we still need to move on. Cedric, Holding, a few other players would be involved in that as well. BX Gunner said Bellingham, Rice, Caicedo, all over 100 million in the same window. And they were saying, Liverpool fans are saying we should have used that money for Bellingham, but Bellingham always wanted to go to Real Madrid. Rice and Caicedo would have been more for the British market, in my opinion, So there we go. Is there anything else we want to talk about, or we'll just sign off pretty soon here? Stan, got anything else you want to drop in? You're on mute, I think. Kane is next.
Sorry, I was muting all the sirens that were going on. No, I think.
What do you think Tottenham? Real quick, what do you think Tottenham are going to look like without Harry Kane?
It doesn't matter. We got. You know what? I got it. I got the solution for them. We have Nketiah and Balogun, the double-headed duo for their front line.
You'd want to
100 mil.
see. I wouldn't
100
want
mil.
to see Balogun go there. To be fair, myself, but
You think he'll play well? Why? What do you think he's going to do there?
he might score more than Harry Kane. I don't know.
He'll score more than Harry Kane. Ray, Ray, you're
I'm
trying to get this.
joking.
You're trying to get this Tavares stink off of you, and you just added more on.
I should just do what Tony does, deny everything. I never said anything about Saliba. Tony would say, you know what I mean? Yeah, that stink of Tavares.
Thing is, though, Ray, you wasn't the only one, and I can't remember
No.
who, but other people are
There
hiding.
were others. There were others.
Yeah, there
in
were.
hiding.
I can't remember exactly, and you're taking the fall.
That's okay. I'll take it.
He was the ringleader.
In
Well,
the interest of
He was
the
the ringleader, man. He's like leading this whole
I was
brigade
the
of
OG.
people. This whole
In the
march down
interest
the
of
street.
entertainment for a podcast, I'll take that pressure. Paqueta to City. We got to have some fun here, right? Paqueta to City. I don't think he makes them better. He's not better than Gundogan, is he? Paqueta.
Oh,
He's
no,
playing-
there's nobody better than that. So
He's going to be
like,
playing in a
no.
better team, so who knows how, you know what I mean? You see a player gets put into a team with better players around him.
Yeah.
You might see the player, playing at a different level. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, all he has to do is improve where he was the previous season. He'll be fine. And now he's got better players. So
88 million.
yeah,
And
yeah.
West Ham want more, 88 million. If they want Balogun, it just
West
went up.
Ham's going to have like almost
Yeah, that
200
went up.
million
Balogun just went up to
in
65.
incomings, over 200 million incomings, and they could be struggling to
Yes.
stay up in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Didn't they
I
sell?
never-
Didn't they sell Schumacher as well?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I
if they
think so.
did.
I thought they
Um,
sold him.
I think
I
so.
don't
yeah.
never have much faith in swap deals. So inter-swap links for Barella haven't been shut down. But I think it would be a crazy idea to go for Barella from Italy.
The
David Moyes-
Patello news has gone quiet as well, hasn't it? All that Patello
Yeah.
stuff.
David Moyes implements the defensive system. Can't compare. True with Paqueta, definitely. My only happiness will be that I think Gundogan is a better player than Paqueta. So it looks like City are downgrading by doing that. The same thing with Kovacic. I don't think he's that great as well in midfield. The top 5 English clubs are fast becoming super clubs. Next couple of years is going to be crazy. I think there'll be some good times in Champions League, and we'll be in the mix. I think maybe not this coming season, but the following seasons we really need to have a go at this Champions League thing. I want to get the stink of not winning the Champions League off of Arsenal as well. You know what I mean? If we could do that in the next 5 years, that would be great. We get a Champions League in the next 5 years. I'd be here for that. You know what I mean? Rule said yes, they did. Morning, lads. What about Vlahovic? I think, Gary, you were mentioning Vlahovic, right? On loan
Yeah,
for 6 months.
I don't know about that. I mean, if you're going to get, you think about getting Tony in January, then you don't need Vlahovic. I don't think we can afford it.
Do you think we're gearing up for Tony, Gary?
I don't know why not. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I should like. Why not? I mean, if we're not like, we don't want Balogun, and we want to sell him. So if you sell him and you
Yeah.
don't bring anybody in, then yeah,
It's got to be the issue with Balogun has got to be an attitude issue for me. I think that's probably the first thing that Mikel Arteta looks for in players.
Just finishing up.
You know. So yeah, we are just finishing up, as Stan said. I might give him a moment to come back on screen in his robe.
Oh, hello. I didn't have my mic was on.
Just finishing up. Yeah. So Gary, give us your final thoughts, and we'll get out of here, and then Stan will do the
No,
same.
looking forward to the season starting. There's a lot of fireworks going on today. Lots
Yes.
of movement. Harry Kane will be out of the league, and maybe hopefully he'll be winning trophies. As I said, it would be a dream scenario if he goes and doesn't get a trophy, doesn't get a big trophy, you know, because that'd just be really funny. It's really funny.
Yeah.
So
He'll turn down
I mean,
the opportunity.
I'd be
to have the
surprised, but I
West
think
Ham
he'll get his first big trophy this year, and then we'll see how he does. But yeah, no, it's I would like Arsenal to pull off one last trick.
Mhm.
Does
That'd be nice.
then be ready for Saturday. I guess it'd be Saturday morning over here.
Saturday morning.
Expecting to see something really good come out of that game. A good start. See a couple of multiple players play, maybe contribute off the bench and stuff like that. put because we need people coming into the games to finish off the game. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, we just have people come on just to get a sweat. It'd be nice to have somebody come in. Either we have a 1 or 2 goal lead and we just finish them off with an extra goal. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I want to see that bench work. So, yeah. And I think Raya will be dressed, right?
Yeah, he'll be ready. And we've seen already an improved performance from Ramsdale. He actually saved the penalty at the weekend.
And
extreme
even
danger.
trying to blow us up over here.
Careful.
No, my missus just handed me a fresh one of these, which means I've got a fire at the barbecue.
Ooh, okay.
And I think Zinchenko is
Dan's
healthy
going to be
again,
cooking
right?
up something.
We're getting another transfer tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Let's
I'll
get
start
a
cooking a
transfer
barbecue.
tomorrow.
You wake up in the morning, we've signed Mbappe.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, listen, we're getting better, and we want to improve on this for next season. 84 points. We set
You
the
wake up in the
mark.
morning, I've sold Nicola
Right.
Pepe for 80 million.
That was 4 years ago.
And that would
Yeah,
be some magic,
I'll
wouldn't
take
it?
that.
Yeah,
That
was
would
some
be some
magic.
serious magic.
there's
And
going to be some
she was
fireworks
cooking.
tomorrow, and in the transfer world as well. There will be some fireworks tomorrow. Take us out of here, Stan.
So there, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining us. And I think we're going to be here on Sunday, right? Because we're going to have the first game of the season. Season starts in earnest. So what season are we on? When what's the name of this new season? Season 4 of the Arsenal Fan Circle now? Where are we, right?
Might be season 5, I think. Yeah.
Season 5. So come in, everybody, and join us for the kickoff of season 5 in the Arsenal Fan Circle.
Maybe even 6.
right,
I haven't even thought about it, Stan. I just sort of left this preseason clean. We wanted a clean preseason.
See if we
didn't
can
get
even get
the-
Mahir in as well for the kickoff of the season.
Listen, shout out to Mahir. He's not had the best of time lately. Been in touch with him. Shout out to Mahir. Hopefully he will come back and be with us and at some point in time. But shout your thoughts for him and all that stuff.
Yep.
Okay, we're out of here. We'll
Yep.
see you on Sunday, and you'll see Gary on the watch along. He may do a trip after that. I don't know. Is that true or false, Gary?
Yeah, the road trip will be on. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Because there'll be a lot of games on. So yeah, why not?
Why not, indeed? Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Slap a like on the way out. Don't be a freeloader. Hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching. Take care.
All right.
New
See you.
season
Thank
away.
you, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Come on, you Gunners.